Hey, what's up, everybody? We're already having a great time. I don't know about you guys, but we got some superstars on screen here, some guys I'm excited to hang out with. So we got John. You guys know John, Coffee Talking Tech, J.A. Smith, and, of course, J. Cruz, Mr. Healthy Bearded. What's up, guys?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, man?
Good
Saturday morning.
Times.
Too much Jersey going on. Well, the nice thing is there's a couple Midwestern guys, then there's a couple of those East Coast dopes on the other side, right? So
I claim the Midwest. Hold on, I got something for you on that.
Go. That's right. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
I'm freezing.
So what's going on, everybody in the chat? Let us know if you're drinking coffee. What are you drinking? We got some good coffee here. I don't know what these guys have. I know what I have. So let's start with John. John, if you don't mind, introduce yourself. Let people know what you're drinking.
Hey, this is John from Coffee Talking Tech, and I'm trying to be a coffee snob, but I just really can't bring myself to it yet. So I have my pour over set that I got for my birthday, but I'm just drinking Folgers coffee, classic roast, right out of the Starbucks cup. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. And
Well
we
done.
got Mr. J.A. Smith. How are you, sir?
Yeah, you can call me Jay if you want. I'm doing well, actually. I've got my pirate coffee cup because that's my mode today, and I drink the Lavazza coffee. Have you ever had that? It's from an Italy friend of mine who's a drummer. Turned that on to me. He's from Milan, and I haven't gone back. I love this coffee, and they have like a lot of different vibes to it. You can find it in pretty much any like decent grocery store, but I would say do it. Go for the Lavazza. Check that out.
I had it yesterday.
That's right. You got turned on to it. You started drinking it. You said it was good.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I just recently started coming into actual good coffee, so maybe we'll talk about that.
Get into it. You'll love it. You won't go back. Don't do the Folgers. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Oh, I'll show you what I have in a second. I'm excited about it. And we also have my good friend, Mr. J. Cruz, Mr. Healthy Bearded. What's up, man?
All right, so of course, if you know me, you know I'm drinking from the home team right here. This is a Cafe Bustelo. It's kind of like a rich, kind of Cuban style type coffee as well, like the taste.
Mm-hmm.
Very bold and very rich, but it's very good. Very good. A lot of people in the community that I'm a part of drink this type of coffee as well. So
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing how different that is. Like that Cuban style coffee or whatever that flavor. That's a different bold taste, man. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Does it have horsepower?
And I put some almond milk in there and some
Oh,
stevia
almond milk.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I
A little
love that.
bougie today. I'm with the fellas, so I can splurge.
You got thickened up.
Yeah.
You living the good life. All right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. What's up, Tommy? Everybody in the chat, it's good to see you guys. I am drinking, and I don't know if I've seen him in the chat yet, but I got some coffee that came from Maui. Maui Coffee Company.
Oh, nice.
I'm drinking a vanilla macadamia nut.
So it's a little bit fruitier. So it's funny how it's so, Italy is going to be way different than when you get from Cuba or from Maui, like the different fruits and flavors it is interesting. I mean, the coffee scene is kind of cool.
I love macadamia nuts too.
Instead of wine night, we're going to have coffee in mornings and we can sit here and drink and talk about, Hallmark movies and coffee.
So we got Todd. He said he doesn't drink burnt water. I didn't burn it, man. I didn't burn it.
No burning. No burning going on here.
I don't know why you have to be so mean to coffee. I mean, I just started drinking it. I started drinking it like me, 26 years old. That's when I started drinking coffee.
Okay.
So I had a goal. I was going to try to go to 30 because I felt like I might have needed coffee for those early days that I go to work. And so I was like getting up at 5 a.m. And then I fell in love with the taste actually. And now I have no sugar in my coffee at all. You guys put sugar in your coffee?
I use
a tiny
coconut. Yeah, coconut sweet cream.
That's good.
What I use.
Yep.
I use monk fruit and stevia. Those are the two that I use.
That's what I use. I use stevia, but a lot of people don't like the taste and they like the monk fruit a little better. But I like the stevia better than the monk fruit actually.
I just go straight sugar up. But I don't put that much in it. So,
Do you sing like a Def Leppard song when you're doing it?
Sure. Pour some sugar on me, baby. Come on. I think of Tommy when I do it too. I think Tommy and his leather chaps. And I think, pour some sugar on me, Tommy.
What's wrong with leather chaps?
He just left the room, I'm sure. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just Tommy wearing it and me visualizing that while drinking coffee. It's a little
As long as you
disturbing.
don't cut out the back end of them, they're okay to wear sometimes. Like
Yeah.
Western scenes and stuff like that.
I'm pretty much a hoodie guy.
Nice.
That's a
So
Midwest
Tommy
thing.
says, I think I would love to grind. So do you guys use ground or whole bean?
You got to go. Really need to grind, I think. But I have both just in case. I'm a little lazy, but grinding's the way to go, man. Just the smell of it in the morning when you grind it. Oh, come on.
Yeah,
I-
when you grind it just I don't know. It's fresh.
Oh, it's the whole scene. It's like it's like smelling the thing on the wine bottle, like the cork.
Oh, man, I should have brought my stuff out here. So I actually just got into like real coffee. Like I have a Chemex, I have a coffee grinder, and not like a little cheap one either. Like it's really good quality. I have my coffee beans stored up in like these containers that keep the freshness of the beans, and it does make a difference, man. The coffee does taste different and better.
Yeah, well, I hire local kids to come and grind my coffee too, so I can watch them. So I really living it up. Like the kid comes in around 7:30. I make him grind that up. Yeah, he delivers my paper.
This is a morning
If it was
show.
1985.
That's funny.
He mows
All
my
right,
lawn, grinds my coffee, washes my car. I love it.
Child labor laws are different in Wisconsin.
It's just
Right.
different here.
They don't
It's
exist.
different here. We pay them in cheese.
Hey, I'll do it. I'll work for cheese. I'll see you in the morning.
You know
All
who
right.
surprisingly has a good coffee that I'm like, what? McDonald's.
They do.
Oh,
Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's. McDonald's is surprisingly good. Like,
Yeah, I like
the only
wanted
thing
to,
worth stopping for.
like I went there to because like I drink coffee like before I go to the gym for a pre-workout, and I didn't have time to like do the whole thing here, so I just stopped at McDonald's, got it, and I was like, yo, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I was
it is.
impressed.
It's cheaper
I was
than
impressed, yeah.
Starbucks.
Actually, my sister has a top-rated coffee shop in Hoboken, New Jersey. It's top-rated in the state.
Oh,
And,
you gotta let me know. I'll take the drive. I ain't too far.
Oh yeah,
What's the
it's
name of
called.
it?
It's right on Washington Street, Washington and 10th, called Bwe, BWE, and it's
Oh,
all
boy.
Haitian coffee. And they got top-rated in the state, like when they first opened, and people rave about it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to take a trip.
She never sends me coffee for Christmas or anything, though. It's kind of weird. You'd think you'd have
Yeah.
connections there.
I'm lucky if I get coffee.
Yeah, I'm sure you are lucky. They don't send you anything. How you doing, Dean?
What's up, Dean? There was a question here that I had on screen. I can't find it now. Let me go back and find it. It should be highlighted. But basically, Jason Esther was wondering, does anybody dip pastry in their coffee?
Yeah,
Personally,
I've done
don't.
it. I do the like the plain donuts. I would do, like the circle plain. Like I don't even know what you call it. Like just
Yeah,
it needs
I know a
something
lot
because
of
it doesn't have
people-
anything.
they'll do a crawler, like Jeff saying, like a plain crawler, where it's like you could dip
No
right
glaze
in.
though.
The
No
only
glaze.
thing I've ever dipped is a biscotti.
You are biscotti.
Scotty. There's
I don't I'm not sure what that is.
they
Very dry.
In my culture, they'll this thing called concha, which is like a type of bread, and they'll dip it into their coffee, and it's like
Okay.
a nice it's a Mexican style bread, so it's really good.
Like if it's really dry, I don't mind doing it. But like if it's glazed
dry.
and all
It's
that,
a
I don't
little
want to do
dry.
that. Like,
Yeah,
dipping
I
a
agree
glazed
with-
donut.
I agree with Tracy here. I'm not a big fan of stevia.
Agreed.
I like,
Me too.
Like J. Cruz, I use monk fruit sugar when I do use
So
it.
Yeah.
the one that I just got is a combination of both, but it comes in the little packs, so it's a lot easier.
yeah. A lot of people say that about stevia. I don't feel that, but that's commonly what I see is a lot of people don't like the aftertaste.
I don't like that. But maybe you're just used to it by now. But maybe if you
Yeah.
got off it for a while, you'd notice it. But I don't know. Did you start with that? No, you didn't start with it. 26. You probably.
I had monk fruit, but to me that's too sweet.
Mm.
I do use
So-
less. Yeah.
Yeah. Brown sugar is really
John's like,
Brown
I do brown
sugar.
sugar. Yeah.
brown
Yeah,
sugar,
Costco's got that organic sugar, which is not all bleached out. I kind of prefer
Yeah.
that. Like I don't like the bleached normal sugar. Ugh.
Right.
But
So we got two Jersey guys on screen. I love this comment. So he just had 1850. I know this is my friend, our good friend Ben, Cart 63, 1850 coffee and pork roll and eggs. So John and J. Cruz, is it pork
Yum.
roll or is it Taylor ham? What is it?
John.
It's it changes because actually, like 1/3 of Jersey, and it's below J. Cruz. It kind of starts like below. I would imagine that Jay would say Taylor ham, and then when it gets oh no, so you're in
No,
that
we
you're in
say
that
pork
pork roll.
roll.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
we
I'm
say
thinking
pork roll.
Taylor ham
Anything
by
from
me in the
here
north.
all the way to Trenton is pork roll.
Oh, okay. In the
Yeah,
north,
Trenton's the
South
line. Yeah.
Jersey, and New York City, it's always Taylor ham.
Yeah, yeah. We say pork roll. Anything up north, I feel is like all Taylor ham, Hoboken, Jersey City. You know,
Yeah.
anything up there, yeah. Those guys pork roll. They're fancy. They're fancy.
Is Trenton where the tracks are? You cross the tracks.
Trenton. Yeah,
you
it's
know.
just different.
It's
just
Trenton.
different.
Yeah. Cross that.
Yeah. People don't
The only thing
realize I was just at the airport doing some work, and
Uh-huh.
a lot of people come in, and I'm like, "Welcome to the armpit of New Jersey." And so they're like, "What do you
Yeah.
mean?" And I'm like, "Because this is all the chemical factories, the airport, the port here, where all the ships, drop off, all the containers."
At Newark, right? You're talking about Newark?
Yeah, by Newark
Yeah.
Airport.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
definitely our pit of the world.
go
I'm
an
not gonna lie to you.
hour west, and you'll be in farmland. It's
true.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, but it's true.
Yeah.
Did John? Did we ever tell you, me and Jay Cruz, our Jersey story about driving around Rutgers?
I don't think so.
Do you recall? So back in, what was that, May? I think May. I was in Jersey, hanging out with Jay Cruz and a couple of guys, and we were driving through whatever town,
Downtown New Brunswick.
New Brunswick.
Yeah.
And
Downtown
we
New
drove
Brunswick.
past. I guess it was a little busy area, a lot of nightlife there. If I recall, it was right outside of Rutgers, right?
On the border of it.
So we drive past this parking garage. We got the windows down a little bit, and we hear this scream. It sounded like it came from the parking garage. I'm not sure, but I looked over that direction, and Jay Cruz is driving, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, we just keep it moving, homie. We just keep it moving."
Yeah, we're used to that.
Keep the wheels turning, man.
J. Cruz that's like Route 18 and Route 1 over there are slam packed with everything under the sun.
Yep.
I had some experience. Bergen County isn't awesome either, to be frank. The cadets of Bergen County, a drum corps there, and I was in a drum corps there. We had so we stationed there. This is way back when. It wasn't really the best place. At the
One of the
time.
richest towns in all of America is right in Bergen County.
Yeah, but
So Jeff, you're from Wisconsin?
I am. Yeah. Originally, yeah. I moved around quite a bit, but I'm back here now. So
Nice.
doing it. I'm hanging.
I won't say obviously exactly where anybody is, but Brew City Bearded here, he's not too far away from where you are.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, you take some cheese. All right, my friend. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm north of Milwaukee, but I won't give it out. But I mean, I'm close to Milwaukee, north and close to the lake here.
Are you between Milwaukee and Sheboygan?
I am.
Yeah.
You just
You
want to
like
say
that
Sheboygan.
word. You just want to say Sheboygan, don't
Who
you?
doesn't
You and
like to
Tommy.
say Sheboygan. Yo, I'm from Sheboygan.
I'm from Sheboygan. Yeah. Sheboygan's
Wisconsin's that kind of state. There's a lot of fun towns. When I first met my wife, I couldn't say any town in Wisconsin. She would always ask me, "How do you say this one?"
like McGuanaco. There's,
Yeah.
McGuanaco is like all these weird towns. Wapaka, McGuanaco. Yeah. Oconomowoc. That's another
Yeah,
one.
so the
Oconomowoc,
two-
all Indians. Yeah.
McGuanago, the
Milwaukee.
way that I said it when I first met her, I said Mukwanago.
Yep. There's all that.
She's like,
Yep.
"Nope, that's not right."
There's Kinnick. It's all just weird, like really long weird names. You got to take forever to figure out how to spell it. But Oconomowoc was another one. Menominee Falls. Yeah.
We actually got married in Oconomowoc.
Is that right? Yeah, I know that. Okay.
and,
I know Oconomowoc.
Yeah, and when I first saw it, I was like, "What is this? Walk? What is this? Where are we going?"
It's a nightmare. Yeah, it's just like I can't with this. Yeah, just that's all those long. I think all those long Indian tribe names and things that were going on here. But
Yeah, Tracy, I agree. I don't like chunks in my coffee either.
it ruins the moment. Yeah, I suppose. I don't
Anytime
know.
you
It just
use the word
depends.
chunks in anything, I'm not really fond of the word in my food. Chunks.
Well, chunky soup, maybe.
So
Chunky soup?
Tommy says the best coffee I've ever had was a Cuban street coffee in Miami. It's a great
Oh.
question. What's the best coffee for me? I was in Guatemala a couple of years ago, and I brought back some coffee from this Guatemalan farmer there. Some of the best coffee I've ever had. I wish I could still get it.
that's
What's your guys' coffee like? What's the best coffee you've ever had?
I wouldn't know the brand name, but I remember early on when I did go visit through Italy on some music stuff, I fell in love with espressos. Like I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and that just shot you up right away. And when you're younger, you don't mind that. I think now it throw me into anxiety fits, but espressos really got me going. I just really like the Italian coffee, so I think that scene kind of
That's cool.
yeah.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but like I think Jay
Yeah.
Cruz could probably vouch for this. And it's when you're in Jersey, the food is like 10 notches above just about everywhere else. And
I always say that, but that's not true.
coffee that you get is just out of a diner is awesome. So I mean, I've literally gone to diners and it's been like some of the best coffees that you
Yeah.
the most
Oh yeah,
fresh
sure.
get
Yeah.
for like $2. And every time I travel somewhere, I go to the top-notch restaurants for Italian food, and it's like garbage compared to the Jersey food that you could get.
Okay.
That's what
What was
Jersey
the name
people
of-
always say.
What was the name of that place you took me to in Elizabeth? That Colombian restaurant?
Oh, Noches de Colombia.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that-
goodness.
Yeah,
That
he
place
went.
is
It
so
was in
dull.
Elizabeth. They all came when they came to visit. I took them out there to Elizabeth. They had a great time. It was good food.
I would
Yeah,
drive
it
back
is.
to Jersey right now just to eat there and drive back to Kentucky.
Yeah,
There's some places like that. You're just like, oh.
yeah.
Hi, that's my wife. Hello.
I was going to say, I think you know her very well.
I know her.
Is she a coffee drinker? Is your wife a coffee drinker?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't have married her.
I can't do more than 2 cups a day because if I do 3 at nighttime, I have a little bit of a jitter, or it's kind of hard for me to turn off if I have more than 2 cups a day.
I'm on 14 cups. It's not too bad.
Oh yeah.
But my cups are like this
Sure.
big, so it's like
Yes.
So,
Right.
John, your
He's
coffee
like a
budget.
gal- I can't drink more than a gallon of coffee. I can only have 1 cup a day. It's like a gallon
Right.
of coffee.
Right.
I know.
When
John's
I
coffee
bleed,
budget's
it's like
bigger.
sludge. What's that?
Sorry, go ahead, John.
I was going to say, like, when I bleed, it's like sludge.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Your
You might wanna
coffee
let that look
budget's
at.
higher than your tech budget.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
What's
that's a
the
pretty
newest
nice
piece of
setup.
tech anybody has here? Like, what's your newest thing? I think I know a couple of you, but since everybody's watching, what's your newest piece of tech you have in your house? Anybody?
Piece of tech.
I'll go first. So I actually started getting into a little bit of B-roll. So, and it's gonna be real cool for like when I work on marketing ads and stuff like that. So,
Right.
that's my newest piece that I got that I really, really like, and it's coming out real nice. So, yeah,
And so you got a slider.
yeah.
Okay. What brand did you get?
It's true, but
I have to check. I actually bought it off of a friend. He no longer does content like this
Okay.
that I do, so I got it from him. Yeah, I can tell you off camera. It's like secret from me. It's like, no, this is mine, so I'll tell you off camera.
I just know I picked up one, and it was the newest version of the newer. It's called the newer and version, and I'm really, really happy with that. I couldn't believe how quiet it is and how cost effective it was. Because when you start talking about sliders, right off the top of my head, everything I looked at that was a basic slider was like $400 or $500.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. A lot of money.
take care,
See you,
Jason.
Jason. Appreciate it.
Take care, Jason. Yeah, I bought mine secondhand and it came out. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, the only thing I am going to look into getting tripods to have it standing if I need it higher, instead of putting it on a desk or something like that. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's what I did. I got 2 of those cheap little stands and that I had for some old lighting, and then just put it at each end and have them set up.
Yeah, it seems like we
Nice,
collect
nice.
those after a while. I've got a couple of those laying around too.
Right,
Yeah.
right. After all the lighting that you were
It's like cords you get for like phones is like enough. I got enough of the USB-C cords. Thank you. I appreciate
You
it.
know what I noticed about all of us here, and I like every one of us has a light in the back. Like I have that Thunderbolt. Jay has the light in the back over there. So does John and Ken right behind him. Like it adds a little bit of depth, I think, right?
Yes.
Depth. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
The mind of a
Depth is-
content creator, huh?
yeah, you see a little. He's got a little attention deficit going on. Join the club. I think it's important, the depth. But you know, we all seem to set depth different ways here, which is cool.
Yeah.
I think that's just part of doing it a while, but it adds some interest. And
Yeah.
John and I try to change it up. I'm assuming I don't know if you guys get into. I try to change my background up. Do you guys try to change it up a little bit here and there, or is it just something? Set it, let it. I don't really care. You know.
About the only thing that I really do is kind of shift which vinyl I have showing here, although I haven't moved it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But no, for the most part, like my M50 sitting back here now because my newest piece of tech is my ZVE10, which I was lucky to find.
Yep.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
was,
my setup has come a long way. I mean, this right here is not like this is final. The only other thing is like when I do my Tuesday show, I have an online
Oh yeah, sure.
like sign that turns on in the back. That's it.
Okay.
But this
That's
is
very
pretty much
cool.
set.
Yeah, sometimes it's like we're too busy to. I don't know. I used to change it around a little bit more. Now I'm like I got too much to do. You know,
That's
like,
just it. Yeah.
you know, you can't do that. I mean, live streaming. John and I talk about it. It's just you guys know it eats a lot of time. I don't really care if you're doing it once a week, and we were doing twice a week, and some people do it way more. But you know, live streaming just takes an awful lot of time to do it right, and so you got to make compromises.
It takes a lot of time for just like it's a lot of investment, and then just for what, an hour, 2 hours, stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean,
3, 4, 5 hours.
well, for
gonna-
John's stream,
right.
I heard John has a very long stream. I think both of you guys, right? You guys go like 2 hours and some change.
I mean, we used to do before John got monetized, we were doing 3+ hours. And we were just doing it. We were just loving it. You know, we were just having a good time. But the truth of it is, if you do want to stage it, if you do want to, you know, we tried to content it out. It's not like we just showed up and turned the lights on. It takes an awful lot of time. And we were heavily invested in figuring out vMix. And as you guys know, whether it's Ecamm or vMix, it all takes a lot of time to figure that stuff out.
That's like Jeff's saying it. That's exactly right. It wasn't just practice for us streaming and meeting people, which was the benefit of it all. But by the end of the year, I had 6,000 hours of watch time. So I wasn't like just trying to creep in my watch time, you know? It was because we were live streaming a lot and just trying to get better at it. And so just like everything else, you want to get better at it, you know, you got to just do it more often. Yes. So that's what we were doing. And every little aspect we would go back and analyze like a football reel, you know, and check it out. I know all of us
that was the issue is
all the time. It's like game tape for me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But the problem is, Jay, is like at Tuesdays and Thursdays we do our streams, and we didn't miss one for 9 months or 8 months or whatever it was. So we were consistent. But you know, we would get off midnight your time, John, 2:30. We'd still be talking about what went happened, what went great, what can we do and plan out. And you know how that is. But that's a lot of time. And that's not including the prep time during the week, because you got a couple of content. And,
I mean, it's a lot of time, but even like watching Ken, like as much streaming as he's doing in this last like year or so, like you see the improvements. And you see all the little things that just gets improved like tenfold because you're doing it so much. And so I don't think a lot of people, as much as we all stream, would improve as much as we all have in 5 months. Like it's through the roof. You've all excelled with how well we all stream.
Doing is learning. You know what I mean? That's the thing. If you're gonna get into reps like this, real game reps, you're going to learn an insane amount in a very short period of time, and that's true with anything. And we try to express we express that on the show about software. People get very frustrated with DaVinci or very tough software, and I totally can understand that. But you have to dig in, and my response to that always is find a real project, small one, and do it. Don't just you can dabble, but I mean, at the end of the day, find something real to make with it. That's the only way to really learn and see it through.
I went back. So I did a video a couple of weeks ago about live streaming. It may be a month ago by now, but anyway, I went back to as you guys know, this is not my first YouTube channel. So I've been streaming for a couple of years, and I went back to like my first live stream because there was a clip that I wanted to get from that. And just watching that first live stream, I was like, oh my gosh, I used to put that out.
But that's so cool to see that. Like, I think it's people want to be perfect on the way out. I think it's really healthy to watch yourself grow, you know, and if you're doing that, it means you're doing it right anyway, because that means you're not sitting around trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
I go back and look at my videos from a year ago, and I'm like, my God, these things are horrible. Just horrible.
Yeah.
I
But
know it's true though.
I
I
like
know.
I like to leave them up there, and because the difference is the passion is like really there in the video. I'm really
Yeah.
excited about everything, and
Mhm.
it really comes across. And I kind of forgot that part a little bit because you work so hard to do everything that we do, and I'm like, man, I got to recapture that passion and keep that passion because it's really sincere. And then the other thing is, though, I gave such less information. It was
I
crazy.
know it is
But
true.
it was just a real life experience of someone that's never tried a lot of these things, and I thought it
Is
was
that
like
is that
real.
is that part of is that a mistake or is that part of the natural evolution? In other words, we're excited, we're not giving out as much information, but we're having a great time and things are energetic. And then we go, we
Right.
have to augment, we have to layer new things, we have to always improve, which is true. But is there a point? And we've talked about this, John, with live streams where you're just going almost too far. Like, are we just
Yeah.
going way past the needs of the people that are generally showing up? Are we diminishing returns ourselves with energy and emotional, drainage as we try to, do all this? I don't know. I don't know where that's a worry sometimes.
I think it comes down to finding the balance, right? One of the things that I
Mm,
like to do is like pay attention. That's why I watch game replay, right? Because I want to see the comments. I want to see how the audience is enjoying the content that's being delivered, right? But I
Right.
also have to be grounded enough to know, remember, these people are coming here, but if you take away all the fancy stuff, can you still provide quality content for them, right? Like, yes,
that's
the
true.
music is great, the mic is awesome, but if it's just you on camera, can you still do a live stream? So that
Right.
helps you straight. That helps me stay grounded, right? But also the audience. That is who I look to for my feedback. And when they say they enjoy it, okay, this is gonna work. Okay, and
Right.
that's why testing and stuff like that. Like, and I get it though, right? Because overproduction value is a real thing. But seeing what your audience, because every audience is different in different niches, and that's kind of what I think. What do you think, Ken?
Yeah, so I was sitting here thinking that, so the way, and actually the way the show kind of came together, so we can kind of talk about this a little bit.
Oh
So
yeah,
Jay Cruz and I have been friends now for, I don't even know how long, a year and a
yeah,
half,
a year and a half.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So the way that Jay and Cruz and I got hooked up is that he used to just come and hang out on my live streams, and he was real interactive. Like, he would ask questions all the time and this stuff, and then he started doing live streams on Instagram, and he would call his live streams the community meetup. So the first one that I saw, I sent him a message on IG, and I was like, Jay, why are you not on YouTube, man?
Yeah.
Dude, you're a natural. You're more charismatic than anybody I've ever seen. And so one of the first things he ever said to me, and this is so true about this dude down here, he's like, trust me, I got a plan. I got a
Yep.
strategy. I know what I'm working towards.
Yep.
And so he ended up launching his YouTube channel. We actually launched that on my channel. He was on my live stream, and then he started his live stream like the next day. And the dude really is, he's a natural. We become really good friends.
Sure.
And with everything you said, absolutely agree with. I watch all of my stuff back. I try to improve every time. I'm not as charismatic as you are, and I think the Army put that in me, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we linked up. John, what about you and
Yeah.
Jeff? So you guys have been streaming together for a long time. How'd that
Prison.
start for you guys?
We met in
Yeah.
prison.
Was prison for a couple of
In
years.
prison,
Rikers.
Dance club
PP loan scams.
Right.
In fact, we're still in prison. This is a reach out program that we're allowed to do.
Right. I'm actually this is a green screen. The cell is right behind me.
Exactly.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
guy with a gun right behind him.
That's not unbelievable. You see guys on TikTok all the
not.
time streaming from prison.
That's
Like, how do they get
crazy. Yeah,
phones?
from
Totally
jail.
true. Yep.
I'm missing all this great stuff.
Yeah.
Get very creative behind bars, my friend.
Yeah.
Not much to do back there. Not a lot of outside forces. John,
So-
where did we meet?
Jeff and I, it was really an odd situation for me because I tend to not like join groups at all. And I'm not a big fan of joining just everybody's group. And I think that you can get lost in everybody else's groups and not really be doing the things you need to do, which I think is very easy to do with content creation. But
True.
Jeff and I decided after months of trying my YouTube channel, and I did like about 4 or 5 I think months of every week doing a YouTube video. And then I wanted to go live. And then finally, I told my wife, I got to do this live thing. I got to do it. So on April 1st of last year, I wanted to do my first live. And so when I did my first live and decided I wanted to, I saw that Live Streaming Pros was doing like, a Lita thing, which is live stream every day in April. So I decided, like, let me just go and check this out. And so I jumped into the group, and I would say like the best thing out of that group, which is because I was a little ahead of the curve. I was already doing some live streaming, I already learned how to do a lot of things, but it was I figured I'd join the group just to see if I could pick up any tips, and then also the best thing was meeting the people that I met, and one of them was Jeff, and a few other people in the chat here. And when I met everybody, that was the biggest takeaway for me. There's some really great quality people here, and the people that I saw were trying to take it to the next level with live streaming. And that's the best thing I took away with it. And Jeff and I said, hey, let's just try this live streaming thing together and see how we could tackle it. And we started a live stream in May, and we went, like he said, 8 or 9 months straight, right, brother?
Oh yeah. It was like 0 to 80 in no time. It was really crazy. And it just happened so fast because when you're so busy, especially when you start out, it just seems like, wow, the time just flies and there is no time for anything. And then, then you have those discussions, because I think at some point as you mature in the process and you start to figure everything out, and then you start to analyze your channel direction, maybe you get milestone, maybe you get monetized or whatever the issue is, you have to make adjustments. I think you're always making adjustments with your plan. But as somebody, Jay Cruz mentioned something about balance. And I think that's the key, is like John and I right now are trying to figure out where's our balance with making recorded videos, which I think is absolutely critical, and a little bit I would say it's clearly lacking on my channel, because I got started with live streaming, and it's a little backwards. If you're being honest, you wouldn't normally do this. You would make some recorded videos, build a base of people who understand and know you as a person and really care about you as a personality. And then you would maybe dip into augmenting yourself with live streams. That's the normal path. I'm not saying it's the only path. And so now I'm trying to figure that out as we go. So I'm now dipping into recorded videos, which I think we'd all agree is a different animal. It's a little bit of, it's a different thing. It's like NASCAR and Formula racing. It's a little bit of a different, it's still racing, but it's a little bit different setup, at least for me,
right.
Mentally and just mentally, and the process of thinking is a bit different as I go through this. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one.
So Tommy has a question for John. Did you imagine you would ever develop this unconditional love for llamas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no. There was a lot of things that I was uncomfortable with.
He was.
Because I'm the kind of person that likes to control my situation around me. And so, whatever I excel at, I gain. And then if I fail, I fail, and it's all on me. But it was great, like doing as much as Jeff and I did. I learned so much about myself, and I learned so much of, letting myself out there a little bit more and be approached in a different way, and letting people into my life with some great friendships. And Jeff and I, it just expanded. And just like meeting you, Ken, like we just fell into place with meeting, Dan and Ken. And then all of a sudden Jay Cruz is from Jersey. Ken goes to visit him. And it's really great, the friendships that you can really make out of YouTube, because let's just be truthful. I feel is the majority of them and the people you come across, you're never going to be close friends with. But if you can take away 10 people, even, that's amazing. And I think we're there, man. It's just been awesome.
Yeah.
Building, we've talked about that, building your tribe, your inner circle of content creators, not people of, not so much networking per se, but I think finding people that you can really trust to give you honest feedback and to really bounce off of when you're having those days, as we all have those days, right? That's important.
And I love that, right? That word tribe, because I think that your tribe understands your language, because not everyone understands your language, the way you think, the way you're passionate about certain things. And I mean, at least I'm thankful, right, that in my life I have certain people that that definitely are part of my tribe, right? And I
Yes.
think it just makes sense, and they help you become better. They challenge your content, even if it comes down to simple things like, "Hey, man, what about this thumbnail? Hey, man, what about this and that and stuff like that?" And getting honest and
Honest
constructive
feedback.
feedback. So, yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things I've noticed right out of the gate is you can't have these conversations with your Aunt Jill or Joan, at a
yeah,
birthday party, okay? Because they're not going to care or understand at all any nuances of what you're trying to explain
So
as
true.
somebody who's having insecurities or whatever your concerns are about doing this, being a content creator of any type, putting yourself out there. And it's nothing against them. It's one of those deals. And if you're in the Army, for example, try to explain, if you've been in service, to somebody who's not done that. It's very difficult. It's not their fault, but that's a very difficult thing to explain, the Band of Brothers idea or something to that idea. That's tough.
yeah,
And so I think that's kind of it. The Band of Brothers or the band of sisters, or whatever you want. The tribe is a great term.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. And it's the first thing that I learned coming out of the gate was how lucky I was to have a group of people that really were there to help.
Yeah,
And
you come across
support.
people both ways, people that you end up building those relationships and trust with. And then
yeah.
obviously there's also the other side where, sometimes people just don't mesh, and that's okay.
And that's
That's
okay.
That's
That's
life,
okay.
right?
Yep.
It's funny you mentioned the Army thing, because not that this is about the Army, but it's hard to explain to somebody how even 20 years later, after being out, almost 20 years after being out, yeah, that's right. I'm getting old.
Don't do the math.
Don't talk to us.
Don't do the
After
math.
20 years of being out, you can still come across a veteran that you've never met in your life, but you can immediately tell this person's
Yeah.
a veteran, and it's like an instant click. I think sometimes there's certain content creators that it's the same thing. You come across a creator that you just click with, and like me and Jay Cruz, for example, we have that type of, and I'm pretty sure you all are the same, where if I've got a crappy thumbnail, he'll let me know. If there's something
Yeah.
that in a video that just doesn't work, he'll be like, dude, are you sure that that's what you want to do? We keep each other, accountable and help each other be better, instead of just being yes men, like, oh yeah, that looks good, man, put it out,
Doesn't do anybody any good. You need the
That's-
trust factor, right? Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
one thing about me is, like, if people come to me, I do give the true answer, which a lot of times is they ask you and then they're like, well, I didn't really want that much information. But
Yeah.
I really like, I mean, I want people to be able to come to somebody, because it's definitely a problem, is that it's hard to get good feedback because nobody wants to step on anybody's toes, and
Mhm.
nobody wants to say anything negative. But the thing is, if that person's coming to you, they're looking for a sincere answer, they're looking to grow. And
Yeah.
if my channel's about helping you get better at those things, I mean, I have to be that person that comes in and says what they, need
Yeah.
to say. And people don't know how to take that sometimes. And like you said, Jay, is you're going to find your tribe and the people that
Yeah.
really are looking for those goals to improve, and they're there for those right reasons. They're going to respect that. But the people who aren't there for those reasons, and they're truly just in your tribe to, navigate, to meet more new people, get more new subscribers, then that's not the right people then.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, Jay Cruz, is I think the goal when you do a live is, are you putting out the content that you intended, and are you happy with the audience that you're getting? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to navigate to a different position just to have more people watch. I want, because I won't be happy, right? And if I'm not happy, I won't last in that situation. And so my main focus and goal is to put out what I need to put out, and then find my tribe to watch.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes to, because I don't want to just hang out to have a bunch of people. Now, granted, we did that, and a lot of it was to get
Yeah.
me over that line and to improve our streaming. And I've met
Yeah.
some tremendous people hanging out, and I wouldn't change a thing, but in the end, you always have to be resetting what your goals and needs are. And so
Yeah.
like Jeff and I talked about things 6 months ago, and we're like, okay, this is how we're gonna do it. Man, we just did a 180 on everything, and we were like, oh my God, this is totally different than what I thought.
You got to be willing to have that discussion with yourself. Now, as you guys are doing some co-conspirator type things, John and I have been doing this since we out of the gate in May. There's a compromise that happens with, and Tommy and Tracy would say the same thing. Like if you're going to be co-hosting, that's an interesting vibe, because you're already trying to figure out your own brand and your own thing. John and I have similarities, but we also have a lot of dissimilarities. Now that's I think a pro thing. I think that's a great thing. I'm a little bit more of an inner tech kind of guy. John's a little bit more of an outer tech kind of guy. I think that's a wonderful thing with the whole YouTube journey, to have that breadth of information and that approach. But it can be we never struggled with it, because we were just trusting the conversation and always trying to find the best answer beyond our egos. But I see people all the time go, I'm just going to find a co-host and we're going to go out. I'm like, okay. I mean, you got to meet people and find the person that really fits into your particular groove, or it won't work.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I look at you, me and Ken, we talk about you. Nothing bad. I'm just saying, but we say like, look at John and Jeff.
Don't tell him what we really know.
Because look, I brought this idea to Ken. I was like, yo, Ken, we do really good on screen together. I said, Ken, a lot of people love watching you and me on screen together, and look at John and Jeff, right? So let's get together and talk content, right? Talk shop. But so how do you manage that, right? Boundaries within a stream. When is one allowed to lead? When does one reserve? How did you guys kind of get to that flow of what you have now?
Listen, I'm just laughing because, first of all, there's very big pluses and minuses. It's almost like right out of the gate, Jeff and I had a really good feeling for that. So a lot of times when I was trying to find an answer for something that someone asked, and I was quickly looking, Jeff would jump in and fill that time, and vice versa. And it's knowing when to not step on each other's feet and talk. But also, we did step on each other's feet, and we didn't pick up our cues, because it's kind of like a quarterback and a wide receiver getting together for the first time. We just got to set up that timing. But that's just one aspect of working together, because there are egos, there are the way people are used to doing things. Yeah. And it's just, and there's that whole method. And that's why I say, I think it really helped me, because it made me bend a little bit more to do what I needed to do for us to work everything through. And it's a great learning experience for that.
We rubbed off on each other. I mean, I took some things from John that's really helped me now as I move forward and have to make videos. And I saw Tommy's comment about, you got to do one or the other. And I don't think he's necessarily wrong on that. That's a whole nother discussion. But as now, I think John is, he announced a couple weeks ago that he's no longer doing his Thursday, and we're focusing on the Tuesday at this point, one day a week. And the reason is we did sit back and go, is this really what we need to do? And at the end of the day, without talking about the minutia, was we need to make videos. We need YouTube to understand who we are, and we need to get into the thick of it. Exactly. And so, look, that could have been really awful. I think John was like, I'm gonna say he hesitated, but there was I don't know. And I don't know. We didn't necessarily say it, but I'm sure there was a part of John who was like, oh man, I hope he doesn't think it's him or I'm abandoning him. There were, I think people were reaching out going, what's going on? And are you guys upset? And weird stuff like that. Yeah. And there was none of that. There was none of that, because we were so good about communicating all the way through. And I know where his heart and spirit of intent is. Yeah. And so, and I 1,000% agreed with him. I'm like, you got to focus on your videos at this point, and I need to do that as well. And then we'll come back and we'll keep collaborating and rebuild in a year in a different way. But we're going to maintain our weeklies and pop-ups and things like that, and do things like this. But the long story of this is that, as you guys know, you have to constantly be okay with, not just with each other, but with yourself, to review what's going on, because it's not a straight trajectory. This is not a straight path or blueprint. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is something I've thought about too. I agree. Tommy's not wrong. But where I'm at with it, I love live streaming. Mm-hmm. And obviously I love doing uploaded videos. I try to stay consistent with that. So I don't have any plans to really change what I'm doing. But I do feel that he is right. It does kind of skew your analytics a little bit. And I think YouTube recognizes that. They are starting to make some YouTube changes as far as live streaming goes and things like that. So I feel like, hey, see, appreciate you. I feel like YouTube recognizes that, and they're starting to try to make some changes to fix that.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they did, because I'm with you on the balance. Like, why not? We should be able to do 1 day a week, or we should be able to do our pop-ups, and they should not be hurting you, but they are. I mean, Tommy's right. And I think if that is true with YouTube, great. Allow there to be a balance without so much punishment. I mean, you're doing the work for YouTube. You're getting people on their platform. Why punish people? Because they're trying to figure it out. I think that would be a great thing if they do tweak it up a little bit.
In the end, I think, like Ken is saying, they're going to be looking at different ways to improve. And I don't know if you got that survey recently, but I just got a survey from YouTube, and they asked a lot of questions about the monetized people, and they basically asked for input. And some of my input was about having these live streams have a little bit more payback and compared to some of these views pre-recorded. But the thing, I think they're trying to get that balance. They're trying to figure that out. But I just expressed that the lives have to be considered a little bit more important in some aspects. And I don't know what the answer is. And I think it's like, even if they do recognize the separation on a page, because I have to be happy in the end what I'm doing on my channel. I don't care if my growth is 10 to 20% more if I just separate it, because that's not what I want to do. I have to be able to walk away as a content creator and not be obsessed about how fast I'm growing. Is this the perfect way? I'm not all about just the growth. I have to walk away as a creator and feel good about it. And I love like you all do. You love live streaming. I'm not going to separate that off my page.
I agree, but we're taking a little bit of a punishment, because the truth of it is I'm shy of 400, but that's not even the point. If I look at that 400, why they're all dear to me, because everyone is at 400.
Right.
The truth of it is they're a totally different demographic animal than the people that are going to come off of the pre-recorded videos. And so it's a little bit problematic. It's a weird dance here. And so you do have to kind of make a commitment. Like, I'm going to commit now to the videos, and then I'm going to make the live stream something I continue to do, but I'm still in that form. But a lot of my live stream people are just not going to watch pre-recorded. They didn't find me for that. And they're different their consumption and usability user habits are just completely different than the person who likes long form video recorded content for the most part. So that is still going to be a trick. So unless YouTube lightens the grip on that, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, other than balance and hope for the best.
Now, one way that I'm trying to kind of bring those together a little more on my channel, I've started doing this. We'll see what the results show. It's going to take some time to really see. But and this was actually a conversation I was having with Dan C. So the videos that I drop on Monday mornings, I talk about that topic also on the Monday night live stream.
Mm-hmm.
To see if maybe people that see that video, and I may even tweak that schedule a little more to where maybe I give it a few more days, change when that video comes out. So there's a few days between that and the stream, just to see if maybe the people that do find that video would then be interested in talking about it on a live stream. We'll see what happens with it, but it's something that I'm trying right now.
That's a good thought. And I think a lot of people even do the opposite. Well, they'll thinking about doing a video on something, and then they bring it up in a live stream and then gauge the interest off of it a bit, which, listen, you can go into YouTube and do your searches, get those analytics also, but maybe even just for community building, if people are looking for that information in your community and you can give them and take care of those pain points, you're making relationships and making bonds, and therefore that all just ends up being a plus in the long run, no matter what. So a lot of people do that too. So
Bruce City says, what do you think of YouTube Shorts? So around the panel.
It's a rough topic, and you can get stuck talking about that for another hour. Right. My suggestion is It all depends how your YouTube channel is put together, what your goals are, because everybody has different content. But if for a person like me, it would just be if I did a short, it would be something that would lead up into a long form content to drive you towards maybe a video that I just did.
Mhm.
And that's what I would use it for. So I would say utilize it for its best ability for your channel and then go
Yeah.
from there. Like there's a couple eBay resellers in here, and they always put up on Instagram of what they sold that week. So if you could do a short and just go over that and then just go, I did a video on, the buying process of these things, and it could drive right to it, then that's a home run and that makes total sense.
I mean, it depends on your agenda. I mean,
Mhm.
the problem is not a problem, but there are a lot of people who do. And let's be honest, Reels, TikTok, Shorts, YouTube, it's end of the same thing as far as what is your goal here. Now, if you're using all three of those to drive and funnel people to a hub, or it could be a website, but let's just say it's YouTube long videos. I think that's a wonderful flow. And so if you set that up, but then you have to be prepared to serve up. You have to deliver, right? And so if you don't have the content to deliver it up, and they jump in there, unless they're really into your shorts, I don't know. I mean, it really, you have to have a little bit of a plan, right? I think they're
I've never been
wonderful.
into anybody's short.
I think they'd be great if I was set up and I had my longs really filtered out where I want. I think that's when I'll start to make more shorts to drive them into the bucket. But I don't see the point for me at the moment to put that time in there when I don't have enough time for my long, like my primary. I'm not going to, but I see the value, and I see the value in what Ken does and all that, and Instagram. I'm just not prepared yet to do that. So maybe mid-year I'll feel better about it. Nothing wrong with it,
So, I mean, YouTube Shorts specifically, I have not had much success with. And to be honest, I haven't been consistent with it either. I haven't really been focused too much on it. So I like shorts. I think if used right, they can be valuable, like you guys were kind of saying, depending on your niche and what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I just haven't had much luck with them.
Great brand awareness. I mean, if you do it right, and if you have a plan, so let's just say everybody has a solid content, platform right now of some longs that makes some sense. If you're using that for brand awareness and you're out there, my next video is this, and you're going out there and using TikTok even, or using Reels, and you're doing all of them, I'm sure it'll be a very valuable funnel. Nothing against it, but I'm with you, Ken. I don't see the point. I don't think there's any value in just making shorts for short's sake. Personally,
Jay Cruz has had some luck with them. Some success.
Yeah. So, and obviously this is just what I've experienced, right? So, TikTok is king, right? I've been like researching and hearing different content creators that I look up to that are very successful at what they're doing. TikTok is king when it comes to short format. It is what it is, right?
Absolutely.
Instagram, YouTube, they are competing with TikTok, right? That's why.
It's not even a question at this point, right? Yeah.
That's why Instagram is pushing towards creators using Reels and creating these funds to allow people to create more and more content. What I'll say about YouTube Shorts, right? And what I've noticed about the ones for me that have blown up and I've gotten subs off of the shorts, if you're going to do educational content, keep it within 30 to 45 seconds. That's my advice, right? People want to see words in your videos. People want to, if you can, get some music in it. Anything that I use, like mainstream music that's from artists, you can only go up to 16 seconds on YouTube, right? So that type of content, I make sure that, because remember, in my opinion, the viewer is scrolling down, right? They're going down the YouTube shorts. You have 3 to 2 seconds to capture them. So what is that going to be? Is that going to be words? Is that going to be a popular song? Is that going to be a cutscene where it jumps out? Those things, right? So that's what I've been doing with some of the shorts that I do. Even overlays, right? With your voice. Like I'll record a video and then do my overlay with the voice. And again, remember, that short format content. People want to capture something. They want to capture you doing something that they might be interested in watching. So
yeah. I mean, that makes total sense, and that's pretty much what I've seen people say. But the other factor is that you have to consider is that also this short form content a lot of, it doesn't, if you're trying to get monetized and you are limited on time, that is not going to help you get your viewing hours. Now it may help you translate into somewhat subscribers, but I know people that have
Yeah.
gotten like 25,000 views,
Oh yeah.
which is not a ton, right? But it's more than I've even come close to. And they've gotten 10 subscribers out of those views. So
Yeah.
it can vary tremendously.
Well, and I was just going to say what Tommy's saying here. The problem is if they're coming in and they're short form type people and they really aren't invested into your long, and then they're sitting in your sub count and they're not watching your long form. These are diminishing returns of time and effort. You spent the time to make the short, you got the sub. Okay, great. But then now it's harming your deal. I don't know. Now, Patrick, I wanted to roll back to Patrick made a comment about what about taking clips from your long form and using that in a short. That's kind of the point. Like you're using, it's a funnel. Just that's all it is. It's a funnel. We all know about funnel marketing. To me, that's a perfect way to utilize these shorts. It will be interesting on a side note to see what happens with reels and how they juice it. Facebook has got a real problem. They own Instagram. Their base is dying. They got Instagram to kind of firm that up with the youth. They're not translating into Facebook people. So it will be interesting. TikTok has just overrun them. So it will be interesting. I think Instagram still is valued. I'm not saying that, of course. But I'm just saying that it'll be interesting to see where that battle goes and where YouTube decides to pick a fight. I feel like YouTube is almost waiting around a little bit.
And here's the thing with shorts. I'm not saying you don't lead with shorts. I don't. It's an accessory. It's a tool available to you, right?
It's brand awareness. It's another awareness tool.
Yeah, it comes down to impact, right? Like you said, you want quality over quantity, right? You want those subscribers, those people that follow your content, that enjoy what you're putting out there, right? One of the best tips that I heard recently from one of my favorite content creators, she said, remember that these platforms have the tools available for you to use, so use them, because they're going to reward you for using those tools, right? And sometimes, like even when TikTok, I was hearing something about TikTok. Try not to do too many overproduced videos on TikTok, because the platform wants you to be authentic with the tools it's giving you.
You'll see a lot of TikTok creators that if you take the same TikTok creator, then that person on TikTok may have 500,000 followers. On Instagram, they may have, 1 million. Let's bring those numbers down more realistic. They may have 500,000 on Instagram, maybe 1 million followers on TikTok. And that's exactly why, because the audience base, what people want to see on TikTok is completely different.
It just is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and this is a thing, too, what Dean says. And, look, I'm going to admit I'm guilty of this also. It's so easy just to scroll on TikTok or scroll through Reels and watch a video and love it and laugh and think it's great, but don't even think about hitting the like on it or
not even
follow.
It's true. It's not even a thought. It's such the consumption value is so different. Yeah. And that's okay if you know that. But for me, I think that's why, and maybe it's different too for different types of content, of course, right? We always try to act like it's always the same for everybody, but it's not the same. There's different types of education, entertainment value. Jay laid out a brilliant point about using all the senses. I don't care if you're in education, it doesn't matter. Use all the senses available to you to grab that attention. And I think that's such great advice, especially with shorts, because the attention span is even shorter.
Right.
I think you're losing a little bit too on these views and not realizing how they work a lot of times, because there's a lot of, how many times have you done this where you see a really interesting short or a TikTok and you yourself watches it 3 times, and then like I'll go show my wife and she'll watch it once or twice, and it's like there's 5 views that you just got off of one person, really, and so it's a lot of inflated views. And like I said, it's just you have to test things, right? Because different markets accept different things. Now, if I'm a guy like I am that's at 50 years old, and just say my market's 50 to 70, and I'm looking at my analytics, and you're going to you should know that type of stuff that you're investing in for shorts and TikToks is not going to translate into returns. But if like I look at my analytics, and the majority of the people that watch my videos are between 25 and 35. So I know that that market's watching that stuff. So it would probably behoove me to
Yeah.
do a little bit more of this stuff.
So it's knowing your audience. That's what it really comes down to, right? Knowing
Absolutely.
your audience
That's
and what
one
they
of the
want.
most
Yeah.
important
Knowing your
things.
audience, but also to Ken's point, know your platform. I mean, to go into TikTok with the attitude of YouTube and video is a disaster, or
Yep.
even Reels is a little bit different than TikTok in a way.
Yeah.
It's a closer, like, know your platform, know those people, know your demographic, feel the room, man. That's really important, because to overproduce, for example, for TikTok is such a waste of time. Grab your phone, find the right vibe, do it up, and as Jay says, do add some things to it. Add some music, add some catch. But
I was
Because
having a
people want
conversation.
authentic, right? People want authentic. That's what they really want. So
especially in that platform, like TikTok, for the most part, that's what they. I mean, it may change because we see users changing as things go. Okay, we got a lot of white noise now. We got 8 billion people on the platform. How do I cut through? Some guy's going to come. Some guy's going to come up, and they're going to do something different that's a little more polished that changes the whole game. We see it all the time. And so we don't know where that change will come. But right now, unless you're that guy or that girl, like, know the platform.
That's another reason why I haven't put too much work into shorts. Like I could easily take my TikToks and save those and bring them over to YouTube. And I've done that a few times. And I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've done it. And I just don't see the value for me personally in doing that, because just like Tommy and you guys have said, the people that are going to see my shorts are probably not going to really care about the long form content. So I don't want to create that further gap when really we're talking also about live streaming and long form.
Good point. Yeah, because now aren't we talking about 3 segmentations of viewer areas? Live streaming, shorts. And that's what John and I have always been a little bit wary of. We're not saying shorts don't have value, but you got to figure out how that's going to be of value to you. I'm not going to go do shorts to do shorts if it's going to damage me. Whoops. Yeah. So, I mean, good point. That's a third. Yeah.
The key was what Jay Cruz says is, in the end, when we talk about this, it's knowing who your audience is. And so you have to adapt your channel around your analytics and be able to look at that. And a lot of times I know that we've gone into analytics, Jay, A, and I, people have been like in shock, because they don't know how to read them. They don't know how to get answers from them. They don't know what they mean. I have tried to tell people a few times, and they get lost in certain things, not realizing what they need to be looking at. But it's a learning curve, and you got to take those tools, because those are great marketing tools for you to make adjustments on your channel. And that's why they're there. They're not just there for you to say, oh, I got 30% of the people. Okay, look where the dip is. Look where the high is. Look what's going on in that video. Oh, maybe I should have gave a little bit more B-roll on that particular item, because look at how much, it's the viewers have gone up a lot, and they're just moving to that.
I had that.
And see what it is when you put, the breakups of your channel, like at 2 minutes, here is this, in 2 minutes, there's that. When you do your intro, are you talking about yourself for 3 minutes, and you notice that the drop off is just happening? People
Zero.
don't get this. They don't. And
it's little things. John's right. Like I did like the first video I really did was this Go Like Seller video, and it was a little long because it was a full review. But what I noticed when I got to the software review, nobody really gave a hoot about the software review. I mean, you know what I mean? It wasn't zero, but it was shocking to see that people just wanted to know what the hardware was. They wanted to know what that vibe was. And you get to it's almost like, I don't want to be in school. Don't show me how to do, where the compression is on this thing. Yet it's such a critical part. I feel like you have to include that, but it is interesting to go back and see that. And it shook me a little bit where I went, oh, next time I'm going to split these videos up, because I don't want one video punished for because they're 2 different types of people. The people want to look at a software part of this thing.
Great point.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I learned that through the analytics. I would never do that again.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I'm working on a video right now. I bought the Rode Video Mic Go 2, the brand new Rode. I love the mic, by the way. I'm not going to give away any more. Watch the video. But I'm trying to figure out. So when I first started putting this video together, I was going to do the whole, here's the features. Here it is using it here. Here it is using it here. I think the first video that I'm going to do with that is mainly just a brief 2-minute overview. Here's the mic. Here's what it looks like. And then just a sound. I'm going to go out. I've already filmed my sound testing outside. I think it's going to be mostly a sound testing video because there's enough people already that have done the features. They've gone over how you can use it, what this plug is for, blah, blah, blah. I think, like you were saying, if I break that up into 2 videos, I think it may do better. So
I think it is. We talk about live stream versus shorts, but I think inside each of these components, there's people who want features. There's people who just want to know the sound quality. Like you almost have to be aware of those different consumers if you really want to maximize your retention rate. I am shocked at how different that is, but it's something that John has been really good about pointing out. And that's one of those things I really learned over time. This is a great question. I'm just curious about what you gentlemen think about this.
I'm glad you brought this up that Tracy asked.
Yep.
Who wants to comment first?
So I'm definitely gonna let you guys. I'm still thinking. I've never considered this, but it may be. So I'm trying to think and figure out. So Social Blade, for example, right? When you make a video private on Social Blade, if you go like the next day, you'll see your views. You know, depending on what you unlist or make private. Does unlisting a video do the same thing?
Almost 90% sure.
So you're going to lose views on Social Blade.
Yeah, but
which is not a huge deal. I'm just
he doesn't care. The point is he's unlisting because he doesn't want to have the connection on his channel. But you got to remember here, look at the name in the front, Harris Heller. So if no one knows who that is here, this is a guy who developed and marketed music copyright free through Streambeats. He has made as much as $160,000 in 1 month off of Streambeats, and that's only one arm of his business.
He put his time in. He put his time in on Twitch and grew. I mean, he's in such a different development stage.
I'm saying,
you know what I mean?
This is $1 million companies that he has. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so this is easy. He's not looking at it as I want to see where my YouTube channel is heading. I want to be able to be authentic. I want to be able to meet people in my communities. He's like, okay, this is my $1 million business, and I'm going to treat it like that. And so,
but let's pull it back, and that is all true. But is it still a good point? Like as I sit here and I look forward, I go, I don't know. Like let's say if you're not monetized, is this a great idea? Versus person who is monetized. Like these stages, again, there's no one all here. We're all in different stages with different needs. So I don't know. That's if it's a fair question. I don't know if there's one question that answers that, or one answer that answers that question.
There's not, but I don't feel like you should handcuff yourself as a new content creator to making separate channels. You're just finding yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize
if you're new. Yeah.
Right.
If you're new.
Right. And I didn't even realize that I liked live streaming until 6 months after me starting a channel. And so at this point, I'm worth, a few 100,000. No, but I'm worth nothing. So in the end, it helps me. Right. I mean, no one watches my stuff. So, I mean, in the end, if you just are doing what really makes you happy, and then say you do find that niche and you're more motivated on excelling, then you could do the same thing, but you won't know till you get there. You won't know these things. And so when you're growing in the beginning, you're like happy to have people meet you in your live streams. People are watching your videos.
Would you agree, John, that maybe, or to panel, like maybe the answer is when you realize it's actually a pain point, when you realize actually that not unlisting him is hurting you, is the time to unlist him. I don't know that until then, you know what I mean? Unless you have a real specific agenda, maybe you have to analyze that constantly every few months. I don't know.
There's no need for him to go live. He doesn't need more subscribers. This is a guy who on his Alpha Gaming channel has 650,000 subscribers, right? He's got more money than he can ask for. He only pays himself $10,000 a month. Everything goes back into his businesses. And he is, he has his own personal channel that has, I think, 75,000 at this time, which he just moved into YouTube from Twitch this past year. And this guy is, it's a different situation. He's unlisting them because it doesn't make a difference to him in the long run. He's only connecting with his community on these live streams. He's got 300 people watching, and they just want to talk to him because
but even he came out recently with, hey, I'm cutting back on. We're over live streaming, and it wasn't about. he wasn't even leaning into the analytics. He was just talking about the amount of time it takes to do this when he has so many other things that he wants to do. But I think there is something to it. Like, is it better to pull back, have more intense content on less streams, and not oversaturate yourself to people and with all these live streams that are going on, or even yourself? I don't know. Everybody's different. So I don't think, again, the answer fits everybody. I think that's unfair. But I think if I get to the point where I had a year, let's say I had 50 videos, maybe then I would sit and start to analyze whether or not I'm in a place now where I want to pull back on unlist these videos because I have a path that now I'm sure about. I don't know. It just goes back to John's point.
I'm with you. I think where you and I are, I don't think that unlisting them necessarily, I don't know if it hurts or help us at all, because we're still so,
I agree.
I mean, if John is small on YouTube, we're like non-existent, right?
Right, we're spec. But
but I mean, to the point of her, I think the root of her question is the analytics part of it. I wonder what that really does to the algorithm. And that's why I brought up, Social Blade, because you can literally see on Social Blade what it does. So
I think John should unlist all of his, and we'll just see how it happens. What happens to him? Let's let him take the lead, be the tip of the spear. He's monetized already. We'll live through you, John. John, do it. Do it, John. You want to.
The truth of the matter is, doing all this stuff helps you have more clarity on where you want to go. So I say go for the gusto and don't be afraid to try the different things. We're talking about shorts here. Okay, try them out. Yeah. We're talking about long form content. I just know that it's really easy to get caught up in the things that are easy for you. And live streaming was easy for me. I was doing it all the time. And then I came back and I'm literally like, Ken, I am literally nervous in front of the camera doing a recorded video. I'm like finding myself taking deep breaths.
Same thing.
What the heck is wrong with me?
Like I said earlier, it is not the same animal. And it takes a different, from scripting to being able to deal with looking to that camera in a different, knowing it's recorded, and now you're almost visualizing why you're saying it, what it's going to look like. Your mind is all over the place, and to get conditioned into that world is not the same thing as being a live streaming content creator. It is a different animal, and I can appreciate how hard that is.
Aaron Rodgers, for my type of content, do you think short form content will benefit my channel? So it's hard to say specifically because you are newer also with this channel, but your type of content that you're doing sports content, I mean, everybody loves sports.
Yeah.
It could be that the people that find your shorts will watch your long form content because of what you're talking about, but it could also be the same thing that the people that like short form just simply don't watch long form. It's hard to say, honestly.
I mean, the answer is it's the whole funnel thing, like Jeff said. It definitely could funnel into benefiting him, but I think it's personal answers that you have to answer too. Is how much time do you have to do?
If I could, I'm sorry, I'm stepped on you. If I could relate to that, it's really I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is cracking me up. I don't know what the long form content is for Aaron, but let's just say what's the different. Dr. Disrespect does that, right? So it's got long form content. You can go watch 10, 15 minutes of what they did live. That's his recorded content, I guess you would say. And then he puts up his shorts to funnel that in. So, I mean, that does work. But of course, is your long form is entertaining to that person? I don't know. I guess.
So basically what he does sports predictions and reactions. So right now he's talking about the playoffs and the Super Bowl. He kind of went.
So it's timely. It's a timely thing too. So you got that issue too. Okay. All right. Because that makes it different. It's not evergreen.
Right.
And I would say even like Aaron, try doing some hot takes, man. Do them under 30 seconds and put them out on YouTube Shorts and give it a catchy title. Because think about it, like when we watch ESPN or something like that, they'll do quick hot takes. Do one of those and just add your personality to it. Again, do something that's going to make that YouTube jump. What I do with my videos, I'll put cutscenes. If I want to put a focal point of something, I'll put the word either on the screen or I'll do a jump cut where it goes boom, just so it lets you know there's emphasis on this point. That's one of my key points for my strategy. But yeah.
I'm sort of with Destination Timeshare here also. What he's saying is overall view duration on your channel. It's how's each specific video doing. Especially the more videos you kind of, pile up. If you have a video that doesn't do well, overall, is it going to hurt the channel? I mean, if all of your videos aren't doing well, then yeah, of course.
But I mean, I guess it depends on what you're talking about. I mean, if your live stream is bringing in a bunch of subscribers who aren't watching any of your so there's different types of algorithms going on.
Oh,
here
sure.
So, that are the live, if you have a huge base of live streamers and they subscribe to you, but they're not watching your long-term content, that also will ding you. So, but that's different than what we're talking about when it comes to average view.
Well, that's kind of like what we were discussing, what YouTube can improve on. It's
like,
okay,
balancing.
I would imagine that these people can write scripts for all these algorithms. I mean, there has to be a difference on a pre-recorded video versus a live stream for the viewer duration, right? And that's AVD, average viewer duration. So, I mean, yeah, they're really low on live streams, especially percentage wise. So, I hope that they can separate them out. And in this little thing that I got from them asking my opinions on how we can improve YouTube, those are the types of things that I was telling them back. And so if enough people are there talking about these things, I hope that they can make some of those changes for the live streaming, people, which I think they're going to make a lot of these changes in the next year.
I think the reason they're making it is because, again, they're getting the Twitch jump. They would love to get into gaming, but if this live stream thing isn't figured out, then gamers are going to pay the price too, because they're still going to have the same price. People are doing the live streams, but they're not watching the recorded content. I don't want to come here and get punished. Everybody go, well, Dr. Disrespect. Well, that's an outlier. He's not the norm. I mean, we're talking about the norm. We're talking about someone who's starting from ground zero and pushing out there. It's not the same thing. Just like Heller, Harris. Yeah. It's like you can't compare.
Sorry, go ahead, Jay.
No, you're fine. I was done. No worries.
It's interesting because you're also starting to see some other platforms pop up that focus specifically on live streaming, like Ustream, for example. I haven't dug into Ustream yet. I've chatted a few times with Rob Balasabas, but I haven't dug into that platform specifically. But it's interesting that those platforms, and maybe that ends up being the answer. Maybe at some point, just speaking for myself, maybe at some point I moved my live streaming to a different platform. And I'm not saying I'm doing that. I'm just thinking out loud.
No, that's a good question. Yeah.
Because Ustream is interesting to me.
I don't really agree upon that, but that's just my opinion. I just think that there's always going to be fads, and that could be really popular for a year or two. Just like everybody couldn't stop talking about Clubhouse. And to me, I felt like it was being thrown back like 20 years. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, in the late 90s, they had those kind of setups. I mean, they weren't as great as Clubhouse is.
Oh, I love
that whole thought process was around for, since the late 90s. And I just think that it's just becomes a fad. And then is it going to be, is it really going to be around in a couple of years? And that's not for me to decide or care about. It's really, you have to look at how you can utilize different tools and if you think it's effective for you. And it can very well be. It's just don't jump on something because it's a fad. I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. The reason why I haven't dug in a lot is because I want to make sure, I want to read about it and figure out what it does, see how it's working for other people and things like that. I don't like to just jump in and change things.
No, and a lot of those companies, keep in mind, a lot of those companies too will start up. They'll do something really well and they're going to get absorbed. I mean, like Instagram with Facebook, you could see somebody like Ustream getting their platform going. All of a sudden YouTube's like, you know what? Let's take that. So you never know. I mean, that happens all the time. With this.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing is discoverability. I mean, you're not going to have not nearly the best discoverability as you'll have on YouTube. I mean, it's proven at this point.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying that if they develop something that is a good compartment that they like, that they can integrate in a way yet keep separate, I could see that happening long term, or it'll die out. Clubhouse, had this energy. So a lot of people who still like it. I don't use it, but I mean, then there's other people who come back now and go, oh, it's kind of dying out. It's just, I don't know, and again, I can't speak to it. So I'm not really, I don't really have the analytics on it.
Yeah. I know very little about it other than what it's called.
And then Instagram, it was killing it. And then Facebook realized and they absorbed it. So you never know. You never know what can happen.
I think the best people and the most successful people know really how to look at those different types of things and see the worthiness of it early, because the early adopters really succeed in the long run on different types of things like that. But you have to have some foresight, and it takes a
with
lot
risk. Because people say that with Napster, and you know what I mean, and a million other companies that didn't work out. Everybody always likes to champion the one that worked for them. But the question is, do you have the time or the money to invest into a platform when you're still busy growing early on? And I want to say to Patrick on this question, I just say, do what you, at your level and my level, do what you want to do, because that's how you're going to find the people that really speak to you, and you'll be as authentic as you can be until you feel like you're forced to kind of move outside of that for some reason. But I say, stick with what you want to do.
We all know that when a new YouTuber is doing a video on, let's just say, I don't know, a certain mic that's out there in every Best Buy that they sell the most, when they're doing a review that Ken has on his shelf, that when you're doing your review on that, I mean, you're looking for the views. I mean, people have done a million reviews on it. It's been around for a long, long time. And I think they're just trying to pick up views. So you can go that route. If you want to do on the newest Mac, you're going to get a lot of views, but you gotta also have a business plan too. And I get it. All right. These people want to do that because they're trying to reach the end line, just like I was doing a lot of streaming too, to reach an end line also. So I get the idea.
Yeah. But the struggle shouldn't be about making content that get more views versus not, or what you want to do. The struggle is, the conversation should be, do I want to do that right now? Do I want to make a video because I want more views? I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So then that's the discussion. I want to make a video about a Gold XLR because I want some views. So there's nothing wrong with that. People can do that. So if you feel like you want to do that, I think you should do that. But I don't think you should limit yourself one way or the other. What is your need right now? And
you can always change down the road.
You can always change.
Yeah. I mean, so to John's point, right? I've done that myself. I've reviewed things just because I knew that, it would get views and stuff. I mean, especially there's another part of that too, right? As a brand new YouTuber, we know how expensive this is to pick up gear, and, I don't have enough money to buy everything that I want right now. So sometimes picking up that microphone in Best Buy that is inexpensive and people are going to see it is purely for content. Like, you don't really care about the mic.
Yeah, I have what I have around me, and that's kind of what I'm going to have to start with when I make these videos, because I don't have the money to go out and just to buy. I've got a couple things that are interesting, but I'll have to fake it. That's okay. But I mean, there are some things that I don't really care enough about. I'm not going to make because I don't have any desire, but I'm with you on that. There's no right or wrong answer if that's the question. If you want to make a video for views, you're absolutely right to do that, and you should. If you want to make them just because, but I don't think you should go one way or the other. Necessarily. I think you should stick as much as you can with the stuff that you want to make. But
I mean, my feeling is just making more videos is going to make you better with your equipment, production value, doing the reps. And so no matter what in the long run, I mean, it's that you got to make videos to get better. And so I always look at it like, so what if someone did it a million times? So what if this? So what if that? Because it's just going to make you better in a year from now.
Right. Yeah, as long as I'm not doing it like they did it,
Sometimes you gotta, going back to that point right there, sometimes you gotta tune out everything. Even if you've seen someone do it before, listen, how much can I talk about beard oil, right? So it's finding, it's
I'd listen to you all day, Jay.
Yeah, right. It's finding something to put a different spin, different perspective. One of the questions that I've been recently asking myself that I think it's really helping me kind of navigate how I want my content to be seen is, what can I do that other content creators in my niche are not doing? Because if you can get an answer for that, that's a way you will stand out. And so just because I've been there, right? I've been like, I've had those moments, transparency, right? Of, man, if I was here a couple years back, how further would I be when there wasn't really a market for what we do now? but you can't be a baby about it, right? You got to man up, and whatever's available now, this is going to make you a better content creator. So that's a question I leave for everyone that is watching. What can I do? What can I do that everyone else in my niche is not doing? And that's a way to stand out.
Yeah. Well, we all battle that, and I've been trying to read, because I battle that with myself, going, but the truth of it is, if you look back at history, if you go back, the truth of it is, all these guilds, all these things that were invested were creators. They were artists who actually formed their guilds. They formed their collaborations. Honestly, they're called Senwells or whatever, and they borrowed from each other. That's just the way it was, and they were open about borrowing from each other, and that's how they expanded. Because the only way you can expand on these creativity is have influence. And so it's, as long as you're not stealing directly, which I think is awfully hard to do. It's actually harder to steal directly in a way. But if you're not doing that, and we're all going to be borrowed influencers. I mean, come on, man, we're not reinventing the wheel. But I do understand what you're saying, Jay. Like, maybe if I was here a couple years ago, and then I'd feel like I was more of a leader and be an original. But would we? I don't.
I was just going to say, unfortunately, you make a tech channel, and I don't think there's anything that is original. I mean, I'm hoping that the goal on my end is I drive people there. They like my personality. They like me when I live stream and I interact with people. They like my honesty. When they ask a question, I can answer the hard question. I don't shy away from something that, people feel uncomfortable answering. So those types of things I think could separate you, but you got to find something, right? So, but the thing is, unfortunately, when it comes to a tech channel, and who knows, this may not be my calling, but the thing is everything that I'm doing is a learning process. Ken started the channel, and maybe it wasn't his main thing he wanted to do, or maybe he wanted to do multiple things. I mean, this is the great thing. It's a platform to do what you want, what you enjoy, and nothing's a waste. People always like, I wasted my year on this channel, this, that. No, man. Listen, if we didn't have what we had, and my son didn't ask me about making a channel for him, I would have probably not had gotten started. I've been putting off a YouTube channel that I wanted to start since 2008. So at that point, when was I ever really going to do it? I wasn't going to. And so everything's a learning process, and you get better. And in a year and a half, you can learn an amazing amount of stuff.
Yeah, and it's like it's teaching. It's YouTube. Your content is teaching you in a way, right? Because it's test and trial. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Let's see if my audience likes it. No, the views are low. The analytics are off. Okay, maybe I won't try this. Let me try something else. So it's a teaching curve, right? It's always, because that's how you become a better content creator. You test. You step out of your comfort zone, and you get your YouTube will tell you if you're being successful at your content.
It'll be interesting. My niche is a little bit broader, because I'm not really a strict tech person, but I John and I, when we started focusing back on videos, I kind of went back a year to my original thought, and I'm like, man, I got a million things that I do, and I'm just going to break down, this is how I do it, how I do this, how I build websites, how I do this, how I do music recording, because at the end of the day, it's just going to be about how do I do this, and that's either going to resonate or it won't. But I can't really sit around and worry about it. I will say, I want to circle back to something Jay said, and I find this to be my problem. Too much outside noise. Instagram for me can be just too much. I'm a drummer. If I see one more drum groove, there's a billion drum grooves. There's a billion content creators, and they're all good and they're all amazing, and there's nothing against them. The problem is it can really take over your psyche. So you do have to turn off some of that stuff, I think, to stay in a healthy creative mind. Otherwise, I think it'd be a little bit much.
Yeah. That's something. I mean, just to chime my opinion in there, this is something that I battle, especially recently. I battled a lot. Jay Cruz and I, me and Jay Cruz and Dan have talked about the fact that on my channel, which, let's be honest, my channel is 6-7 months old at this point, right? My tech reviews have done better, or my tech tutorials, whatever the tech stuff, has done better than any of the YouTube growth or, just content creator talking head topics have done, right? Yeah. And so the conversations we've had are, I really need to lean into the tech stuff, because that's what's getting the most views. That's what's doing well. And part of me agrees with that. But then there's the side of me that's not just what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to talk about these other things also. I don't want to be just a tech channel. Obviously, it's important, and that's always going to be a part of it, but I want to do the other stuff also. So,
I'm with you on that.
I think if I tried to focus only on tech and tech reviews, I don't think in the long run I'd be happy.
You'll burn
You
out.
won't be happy, and that is not what your channel's
And
about.
okay, so that's a good point, because then you wouldn't be happy to create that content anymore.
Not if that's
No.
all I
The
was
thing is,
doing, yeah.
You'll
You're
be
serving
like
somebody else besides yourself. I mean, that doesn't work. It's okay to put value out. That's your point. That's the whole part. But if you're going to put value out for somebody else's agenda, not your own, I think you're going to get trapped into some corners, creatively and emotionally, that I don't think they're going to really be healthy.
And to be clear, I mean, Jay Cruz and Dan are probably the two people I'll talk to most when it comes to content creator strategy, and I value their opinions 100%. But at the end of the day, also, I still have to be happy with whatever decision I made. So,
Well, I remember we talked a little bit about this, and you and I, a while ago, and my suggestion was because your particular channel, okay, like mine, it's people get caught up into the numbers. They don't feel you know what you're talking about until you can prove what you're saying, until you get 10,000 subscribers or something, you know? And so
right.
that's why my point was to you is always bring up that you know, you have another channel that you got monetized. It's not like you're not talking about things that you haven't done yet.
Right.
And so I think that was really important for new people to connect with you saying, okay, well, this guy has done this before and this is another channel. Once they get that clicking in their head, I think that was a definite plus. But like me, I mean, I'm so new. I was just coming to find out. I'd be dropping all this knowledge in live streams. People are talking about, you know, people are spending money in different areas, wasting money. Everybody's a new YouTuber. They don't know what they need and what they don't need. And I was like dropping all this knowledge, and Jeff was dropping knowledge, and people they're just not ready for it because they don't believe we know. And like I said, then they go to a seminar where they spend $400 on Sunday, right? And then all of a sudden they're going to do what John's been saying for 6 months, begging you to put your mic closer to your mouth or begging you to get something, you know, for this improvement or that. And it's not about money, because everybody gets caught up into like, they see my stuff. I'm the tech channel. Okay. I spend the money on a lot of different stuff, but I can also show you the cheapest ways to improve whatever you have. And it could be $20 that could make a difference in something.
Right.
That's it. That's a good point.
We can sidestep it all we want, but there's a perceptional marketing aspect to this, and people see it, or prestigious marketing or whatever you want to call it. But perceptual is a really good one, and it's a battle. And everything John says is true. I don't think you should have to. I don't think you want to sit there and battle that credibility though, and try to convince people. I think you just do what you do, and that's.
No. Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely not convincing, but like, let's pick up Christmas Clatter, Todd here. He picked up a shotgun mic, an MKE 600, because he saw a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers, okay, say that this is the best mic out of 10 mics. And I kept trying, I've done streams on, listen, guys, you don't necessarily in an untreated room want a shotgun mic, period. Okay. There's a lot of better mics out there, and a pencil mic is going to be more effective for what you're trying to do.
Hey, Todd,
but who am I to say that, you know, versus 1 million subscriber person that I watch? I watch this guy.
Just go back to Todd's point. He laid out a point about,
now he wants to sell the mic.
No, but his comment back here is he struggles with having an unclear path and very few people. And I just want to say, you got to switch your mindset here. The fact is that very few are doing Christmas on YouTube. Man, that's an asset. Like that's a bonus for you. Yep. So now you got to lean into that and go, you're perfectly made. If you do the videos, you're perfectly made to funnel people through TikTok and shorts to drive to your channel. Cause I'm telling you, we all know Christmas is a huge, and you dabble into Hallmark, which is a massive thing. So man, you have a huge opportunity there. That's a good thing, I think.
Man, you had on Todd, you had on Zuzu Bailey. That was huge for me. To me, you're like, your channel is it, because you had an interview like that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful
In
life.
the long run,
Yeah.
it
Yep.
doesn't make you happy. So,
Yeah.
don't chase the channel to be popular if in the end it's going to risk your happiness, because you won't keep doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, what does it
I-
say? Until I
What's
hear
up, Dan?
John.
So Dan, he said,
Hey,
just got
Dan.
home from a rare date day with Sam. Glad to see some of my favorite humans on screen. Until I hear John telling me I'm using the wrong tech.
He's shaming you right here. You're just in here,
No,
just in time to be
people get so
shamed.
mad when I say that the Roadcaster.
Hey,
Listen,
David.
the Roadcaster is not the best thing for streaming. All right.
Oh, I love it.
I love
Why do
mine.
you guys get so mad? Yeah, but it can't do what this little thing can do.
It lets me become, so when I do my stream, like this is just how my brain works. I think I am a producer and I am putting on a show. Like if I was doing TV, right? So the way my brain works is like, okay, this Roadcaster Pro is helping me set up the production for my show. So I have the sound effects, I have the music. I know, like, okay, I'm gonna have these different. Like I look through music. Okay, what do I want for this type of show? This tone.
How you playing your music?
Huh?
How you playing your music?
Through my Roadcaster Pro.
How? How though?
I download the music from the website that I have a membership to,
So
Epidemic.
you
Epic-
download the
Epic.
music and do what with it?
and I put into I download it into my Roadcaster Pro.
Yeah, where? On a sound pad, right?
Yeah.
Yep, SoundPad.
Right. You know what I do?
What?
What do you
I
do,
just push
John?
play.
Yeah.
No, you're laughing, but I'm telling you the truth. When you can route the audio the way
Yeah.
you want, then that's all I do. I don't download it and have to push a button and limit it to space and all that. I just go to Epidemic or wherever I want to go and I push play.
Yeah.
That's it.
Create
But
your
I
playlist
also
in
have
Epidemic.
people call into the show sometimes on my Tuesday stream.
I can
Right,
do
or-
that. You
Can
do
you really?
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
So is it
it's
so
just about knowing
people
how
in the
to do
chat,
it.
is it Team Mac or is it Team PC? Let us know in the comments.
No, you got to remember, dude. I had a Roadcaster before anybody. I had a
Okay.
Roadcaster before most people. And
Yeah,
the
when I met
thing
you,
is,
that's what you were using, and
yeah,
that's
I
true.
thought it was God sent when I had it. But
He did, and I tried to give you. And it was me going, dude, you need a Go XLR, man. I can route so easy and do all that. And you're like,
That's what I
whatever,
wanted
I
to
got
get.
it.
The Go
Yeah, I know.
XLR was what I wanted to get. And then I didn't get that because they were having major issues with software. And I knew in the end that was my mistake. But listen, what I'm trying to tell people is knowing what really works for you and what doesn't.
Oh yeah,
and when
for
people
sure.
were saying that the Roadcaster Pro was great for streaming, I'm like, no, it's not. But I do a podcast. And then, like I said, people are doing like, what do you mean a podcast? And then every time I saw them doing a podcast, it was just one person. And I'm like, wait a second, that's not like the capabilities go much further with this Roadcaster.
Now this changes if you're going to have multiple people in house in the same room. Of course, that's where it wins, right? That's where it shines.
It shines. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because it's a great tool. But here's the thing. It's incredible because it gets back to the same old thing. You can pull off these shows very well with a lot of different approaches. So that's what's so great about all of this is everybody can find the way they want to create their canvas and go. And that's important because people need to realize there is no one way here. And there may be a little bit more efficient ways, there may be this way, but there's no one way, man.
There's also the thing about go ahead, John.
I said there's no one way, but see, right, Jay Cruz doesn't understand that the routing for streaming could be so effective, right? So because and I'm just pointing a topic out. 8 months ago, I was in that same exact boat. And so I think it's just having the knowledge is really important for making the decisions. Now you got the brand new Beacon Mix Create. You could keep whatever audio interface that you have and you'll be able to route that stuff. So now you'll have your Roadcaster and there's great chances that you'll be able to do the things I'm talking about by buying that one piece of equipment. So the Beacon Mix Create can be utilized with any kind of audio interface. And so that is going to be, and these are the people that broke away from Go XLR, the guys who developed the Go XLR, which is a groundbreaking piece of equipment for streaming. And they basically made this next thing, and it's going to be groundbreaking for many people moving forward, because the simplicity with one of their 2 items, one of their 3 items that are out now, is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the other aspect of it too, where I definitely, because I use a Rodecaster Pro also. I definitely don't think you're wrong, and I never have. There's the aspect for me of what am I able to spend time learning and putting together right now. Right now, what I have is working. Down the road, whatever changes up, it's likely, but right now it's working for me. And
I got a show to do in June, and I'm gonna have like 4 mics on screen. So this is gonna be clutch for that moment. I did one last year. We went to New Orleans. I did a show with a company owner. He was right next to me. We had all the mics set up and stuff like that. So,
and that is a perfect point where that thing is going to shine like unbelievably. And I get that. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm not saying that anyone should get like one of these items, but it's the versatility item. Where does it fit and where does it work for things? But there are people out there, though, that if they're doing a live stream, they just might use that equipment. And then there's people that when they choose to do a podcast, they'll use like a Zoom PodTrack 4, or they might use a Rodecaster because of its capability.
Well, it gets tricky. And this is where the question, when people ask, what do you plan on doing it in long, short? Question, if Ken, for example, and Jay are going to use these in multiple mic, then that clearly is the answer, right? But for so many people, the answer is it's just going to be them. And they're going down a bad path. That is a bad path. That is not the instrument for them, as you say, John. So it's like, these questions, I think people just get too, I hear this, I hear Tom Buck or someone said this. I'm not throwing this on Tom, but they get too trapped into, again, perceptual marking, or someone said this, so it must be the only way to go. It's a dangerous thing. Knowledge is where we're saving ourselves some money and time, for sure.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Me and my wife do streams together pretty frequently. Not all the time, but frequently. We're doing one together Monday, so it works well for that.
Yeah.
So
Good question.
What I have right now, it works. And
how would it work different than using just an audio interface with 2 mic inputs?
It wouldn't, but it's what I have now. And it was cheaper. No, I know what you're saying. And it was cheaper to put together.
Yeah. My answer is, for a lot of people, then just getting a Scarlett 2i2 would be $150 versus, you know what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, you need to know.
Yeah.
And can that Scarlett do what the Rodecaster does? No, but it depends on what you need.
Right. The other thing too, the Go XLR, correct me if I'm wrong, that's PC only, right?
Yes.
It is. That's an issue.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't looked into the beacons, but are they platform agnostic?
PC only.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
Because everybody uses PCs, bro.
Yeah, everybody's using it.
I was a PC user like most of my life.
Well, you can see our streams are all suffering because of our differences.
I'm loving
we all have great sound. We all have great look, and we're all coming at it. There's 2 PCs on the right, I guess. Yeah, Max on the left.
Yeah.
Got guys using Roadcasters on the left. And it's great, though. I mean, I love it because it shows amazing. The output can be the same, right? It doesn't have to be. I like that. As far as this question for Dean, this is a great question about how do you help with the echo. There's a lot of ways to address it.
Get out of the garage.
Well, there's one,
So
but if our wires push us there.
So his channel that he's going to be starting up is going to be basically automotive, working on cars, things like that.
There you go.
So
fill up the space. That's for one. If you can get things on the walls, that's another. I do woodworking in my garage, so I can appreciate the issue. Some of it can be, how are you going to record it? I guess that's my question.
I'm the type of guy that I probably wouldn't do any of those things, and I would just get a Rode Wireless Go 2 and put it right on my shirt.
You'd have to almost. I think that might be the answer.
Yeah, that might be better.
Yeah, I was going to say lav like that, but you guys are smarter than me when it comes to that specifically. So
no, I'll go to your channels to find the tech stuff. You know,
the lav is right. That would be great if he was, But if you don't want to be tied to anything, because I'm just thinking like what he's doing, and so he wouldn't be tied to anything, and he would get hours of use out of it, and then he sound pretty darn good for what it is.
Right. Yeah, I like Ken's comment here too. Some teachers he's a teacher down in Hawaii. Matter of fact, the coffee that we started with, that I'm drinking today.
Nice.
Oh,
This is where this came from. So we did a coffee. So in Kentucky, we have something called L81. It's just a ginger ale that's made here locally. And he's had it before. He wanted some, so we did kind of a coffee L81 trade. So, but
note
he
to
says,
self: make friends with Ken.
some teachers have Promethean boards and expensive tech,
Yep.
yet others do the same with a laptop and Chromecast. That's a great point. I mean, part of the one of my biggest thoughts to my channel is I want people to know that you can start a channel without having to invest in expensive cameras and
Right.
expensive microphones up front. You know,
But the
this thing-
experience, yeah.
the experience in this thing right here is a fantastic camera. Definitely need to address audio, but the camera's fantastic.
But that's a great point, Ken. I did a live stream with Jeff where I was basically using my phone, and I had a $50 mic setup. I had a $20 mic and a like $35 audio interface, and there you go. That's all you need.
Right.
Yeah, I think people should never walk away feeling like they should upgrade. The points are if you're going to. So I never like to tell people, oh, you have to upgrade if you're only using a USB bullet mic like I use for a lever or a webcam. The question always should be, if you're ready to move up, then ask those questions and get the knowledge. I don't want people ever feel like they're being shamed or pushed into something they don't need to do. There are a lot of people making a great living using just a phone.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I
on
still
the flip
edit on
side-
my phone.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
come on, man. I mean,
Yeah.
On the flip side, too, there's a lot of people that won't start channels because they think they can't afford to and they don't want to use
I
their
know.
phone.
Oh.
Listen, you can do it. You can do it. I did it for,
I
I don't know
used,
the actual count. The thing that I've just said has
Man.
become, I filmed over 100 videos on my iPhone when I first started a couple of years ago. It's possible.
Yeah, don't let that throw you. There's plenty to learn too, as far as editing and just kind of getting into the groove of what it takes to do content. So don't use webcams. I don't care what you do. Like, start with anything. You could start. That's great advice. Yeah, don't get trapped into that mindset. That's hard.
Yeah.
What do you got going
Jeff,
on, John?
great to see you, Dole Whip Dad. Great to see you, man. Go ahead, John.
No,
you
I'm
doing?
just saying, like, I mean,
Oh, no, you-
to me, there
Oh,
you go.
here we go. Yeah, it's gone now.
Oh yeah, the Epoch Cam, right? Is that the one program?
Now this
Using
is
NDI.
This is iCarrion. It's just an app, but it's like, paid a couple bucks for it because I got the version where I can adjust the white balance and everything, and then you can just use this. I mean, this could be me, right? And so I would adjust.
Yeah, that's.
Oh
nice.
no, it's not working. There's something wrong with it, dude. It's a horrible image right there. You need to go back to.
I'm
I'm
actually
just
on my
listening.
phone right now as my webcam for this. I usually use my DSLR, but right now I'm on my phone, my iPhone 13.
Oh, there you go.
They work great, man. I mean, it looks awesome.
Oh yeah. I started, man. Listen, if you look at one of my original streams, it looks like I'm like in jail, like nothing in the background.
I know the feeling, bro.
All I
Looks
had
like,
was
or
a
are you?
laptop. I had my camera, and I had the app, right, the one I told you about, and a snowball, not a snowball. What's the other one? From that same company, not the Yeti, a Yeti mic,
the
and the
Blue
Yeti
Yeti.
mic was like what 150
God,
bucks.
yeah,
Oh God, here we go.
That's why mine sits right here. It's a studio
Yeah,
prop.
I started off with that, man, and like
I
John
hang
was
my
saying
hat on it.
earlier, like John was saying earlier, don't get caught up in the beginning. Don't get caught up with I need the most tech, I need this, I need that. Wait till you start seeing some improvements with your live streams. Wait till you start growing an audience with what you're trying to do, right? So just don't go too crazy, because I know, like, I'm done. I don't need anything else. I'm good. Like, this is my setup. I got the right cameras. I don't need anything. I got the right key lights.
Hey, Art.
I'm good. I'm good. But it took me what, a year and a month, and
It takes
finally-
time.
Yeah, you build it up over time. Yeah.
I mean, you're going to learn way more by starting with the lowest common denominator you can find. I had 2 webcams and some really crappy lights. You just learn so much by taking the journey and being okay with it. If you have the money, fine, go for it. I still say you're better off investing in taking the trip with some lesser quality stuff.
We're
than
going to be here
building.
next year. Jay Cruz is going to have all new stuff.
I know. Jay Cruz is going to have
I'm
like
good, man.
all
I'm
Elgato,
good.
everything,
That's
and
my
just
Rodecaster Pro, the best.
Amaran lights. And
My
So-
my next thing is to get rid of this ring light that's sitting in front of me. That's my next investment.
You have something in mind, or you just know you want to get rid of that? Do you have an actual?
I just know the ring light's not the best option. I've had the ring light for a while. I've got softbox lighting, but the way that my studio's set up, and I've got a TV on the wall in front of me, so I can't put another softbox on that wall. So
gotcha.
The ring light is kind of just what I use because it fits on top of my desk behind, and I can elevate it, point it down. But a ring light's still not the best option. It works, right? And it's worked for me for a long time, but it's not the best
Absolutely.
option.
The best time to purchase for content creators is Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was dry though this last Black Friday.
I have the Elgato key lights, and they had I think it was $80 off for the bundle.
Yep, I showed it to everybody. Yeah,
I remember that.
I think it might have been you. I think it might have been you.
Yeah,
you were pimping them out. I remember that. Yeah.
So
he dropped the affiliate link.
Aaron, with your audio, we're going to work on that, man. I got to look at InShot and see what and maybe one of you guys know. I've just never used InShot. We got to see what the post-editing options are for InShot, because his mic, so when he does his videos, he's got a lapel mic that he's using. I'd have to really see and pay attention to where that is. I don't know if backing the mic off is necessarily the answer. It could be, but it could also
or
be
his gain is just way too much, maybe. I don't know if they have a gain setting in the InShot or where he's recording to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because usually if you lapel it down in a normal spot, you're going to be
in the phone itself, and then anything in any kind of editing software would be post anyway. So you would just want to have the gain set properly beforehand in the phone itself.
Rogers, I would definitely. Dude, does he have an adapter?
A dongle,
for the lapel mic, connect the input and then connect it to the iPhone, or no?
I'm not sure. You talking about?
Is that what he's using? An iPhone?
I'm pretty sure he's using a phone. Yeah.
Because InShot, I have it on my phone. I've never used it, but I haven't.
Oh, I love InShot. I edit all my videos with InShot.
No, I heard it's awesome. Yeah,
it's amazing, and they just did a couple of upgrades on there too. So one of the cool things about doing stuff with your phone, I forgot the name of this mic. What's the name of this mic?
Sure,
MV7. The MV7.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll grab my iPhone, do some content, and I'll literally just boom, right? Because it's a USB mic, connect it right here, and connect this right into my iPhone and do my voiceovers like this as I'm looking at the film, and the quality of the audio is 10 times better.
And that's how a lot of people go into Clubhouse, just like that, with stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's people are like, wow, that person sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Is that what they say, John?
They do.
Amazing. I like how animated you get. You're so excited.
I mean, when people sometimes see a really good camera setup or their lighting or whatever, they're like, what are you using? They're blown away, man.
Yeah. Jeff's good to have you here, man. So you guys know Dole Whip Dad. His name is Jeff also.
Yes. I ran into him about 5 or 6 months before I met you. He was doing a couple streams where he does just content creators, because he's all involved in a lot with Disney, but he'll do a stream for just content creator information. And so I stumbled on him with that, and I dropped in there, and I've been to a few of his streams, which
I like the fact that he does shows 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast. So if I'm working late on content and I see my subscription thing and he's live, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's hear what the brother's saying. You know what I mean? But it's 9 o'clock in Cali.
Yeah.
Time changes. Oh, God.
Yep.
Brian said, yeah, I'm like Jay. I researched everything for months to get the look and sound I want. Now I can focus on other things for sure. And Brian's the reason why initially I got into Ecamm. He definitely gets the credit for that. He was the first one to show me how to use Ecamm.
I like that. I'm glad the teams are equally separated here. It's like the NFC and the AFC right here.
Yeah, right. I don't know about I told you.
Tech. Brian's got his tech under wraps, man. He does
his tech is very clean, very clean.
I think he uses a Scarlett that you were talking about. He's got a different setup.
He's got this. He had the mic before J and A he got the 320. I mean, it's just he sounds great. Sounds great.
So what would be your number one piece of advice for a new upcoming content creator?
Oh God, I only did about 100 hours of this stuff in the last couple months.
Oh, you should be prepared. You should have an answer to that. Don't waddle.
I didn't know we wanted to go till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But my biggest thing, and I just discussed this a couple months ago, where we went over like our 5 most important purchases in 2021, and one of my most important purchases I felt, and it wasn't really a purchase, it got done, was my logo. And so premeditating the potential of growth and being ready for that growth. Okay, so you set up your channel, and this is at the point where you know where you're investing your time. This is what your channel is, the topic is about. This is what you want it to be. Don't wait around for the success to hit you, right? Prepare for the success. So that means get some merch in the works. Go and link that stuff in your descriptions. Go out there and think about setting up a professional logo. Go to Fiverr, hire somebody for, a cost-effective amount to make a logo. And it can always change, but you don't want to really change it. I was fortunate enough to have someone in the biz make my Coffee Talk and Tech logo. Man, did he hit it on the head with how it relates to me. He did a great job. Yeah. But now you have a video, it goes semi-viral, or say you get 10,000 views on it, and you have your logo all set up and it looks good, and you have your links to your merch. It makes you just come off that much more professional, and also lets you utilize the fact now that there are people watching you. I've had people send me some equipment to test and go over and just give me, and whether or not I do or not, but also it just prepares you like for that success. People will buy your merch. People will take a look at your content. People will look at your logo and take you a little bit more serious because you're that much more professional right now. So don't wait until the success hits you. Get ahead of the curve and tackle those things beforehand. That's one of the biggest things for a new creator, and that's new to the point where now you know where your direction is going. So that might take a little bit to get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have a logo out of the gate. I think, when you're ready for a logo, John's actually right, but also don't. That kind of relates to maybe my advice here, which is going to be a little bit off. But if I was giving advice, it's going to be more intertech related, and it's going to be, there's a term called satisfice. It's a new term, but as someone who overthinks, I can tell you, as a new content creator, be okay with satisficing, which is a combination of being satisfied and it will suffice. In other words, don't be a perfectionist. Don't get yourself into this mode. Don't be in competition with other people and yourself. Be a satisfied. Be okay. And all this stuff that John and everybody said before is absolutely make your content, make the stuff that you want, and be okay with it being bad, and be okay with not being a perfectionist. Be kind to yourself along the way. And that doesn't mean you're not going to want to improve. It doesn't mean you don't want to have better equipment or better processes or better content or a logo. But I think we get into traps too often that burn us out with competition with what we see on Instagram, what we're not doing. And that becomes an absolute paralyzing moment. And I think it makes really good potential creators quit. So I guess that would be, my inner side of this, as opposed to John's outer side. But that's why we do our channel, the way we do it. So
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
I have 4 more hours I can go though.
No, we're okay, John. We're fine.
I mean, I'm trying to break your Guinness World Record. So what is your stream record anyway? Like 5 or longer?
Yeah, at least 5.
It's just over 5. Yeah, I think we did like 5:15, 5:11 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't have 5 hours. We have date night tonight, so I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay Cruz?
Okay, so for me, I'm going to say learn whatever you're doing, right? Whatever content, whatever niche you're in. Like going back to my other point, learn ways to stand out. Okay, scope your niche, see what everyone is doing, and see what you can bring different. Okay, that would be my best piece of advice. And yeah, just be creative. Don't be afraid to take risk, and but learn how to stand out. Have a game plan. I like to plan things. Like you guys that are on screen, you know that you make a video, you do a live stream, but there's a lot that goes into that behind the scenes. So I would say come up with a strategy plan on how you can stand out when you bring your content, whatever that may be, to the platform. That would be my best piece of advice to start off with.
And I can vouch for that because a lot of times me and Jay Cruz are chatting at 2 a.m. about planning and strategy.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds familiar.
Mine is simply, and I'll take this opportunity to explain really what I mean when I say this. I have a few times, but maybe I should make this a video. It wouldn't be the most viewed video, but it would be, I don't know, anyway. So I say all the time, just hit record. Now, when I say just hit record, that doesn't mean just hit record and do whatever. I mean, you definitely want to plan first. You want to have a goal. You want to know what your target is. But just hit record means do some planning, get ready, but don't wait for the expensive tech. Don't wait for the interfaces and the microphones and all that. Start with what you can start with and hit record and film your videos, because you're going to get better at doing videos. You're going to get better at making content about, using cameras in different ways. All kinds of different things you're going to improve over time. If you don't just hit record, if you wait until you think you're ready, you're never going to start. I was going to say, I know what Jeff is already thinking, and I am thinking the same exact thing. And we have other people in communities that say the same type of thing, and they never go into that explanation that you just did, right? So it doesn't mean just go grab your phone and just hit record and everything's going to be great. And you think people are going to watch you and they're going to be engaged by you. No, it doesn't happen like that. It takes the work. So you're, having to plan out some things, but your main point here is just got to get out there. Like Nike has said for years, just do it.
Yeah.
Put it together. It doesn't have, Jeff talks about overthinking. It doesn't have to be perfect. I talk about being nervous on doing something I'm not used to. We all going to be nervous trying something new. Right. Jay Cruz is saying, think outside the box, go take a look at different things that everybody's not doing. And you know why they're not doing it? Maybe some people don't want to take those risks as much as you. Okay. So why not go for it? And that's what will separate yourself. And someone will say, man, I saw that person do that first right there. And that kind of thinking and that kind of thought process and a little bit of thick skin is what gets you through YouTube.
Yeah.
Because tough journey, finding people that you can relate with and give you some great feedback is great. I know we joke around here about our different equipment and everything, but it's all a learning curve. I didn't know a lot of things 6 months ago that I know now, but it's my job as a tech guy to know a little bit more than, say, most. Okay. But the other thing is I'm learning in different avenues from every other content creator in different aspects. I see how Ken approaches the camera and the way he speaks, and he's eloquent in what he's saying. Jeff has a knack for the same thing with exceptional words that I don't even never heard of. And Jay Cruz uses his voice in such a great way where he's engaging and he knows where to accent the things and makes people excited. Like we're all doing our best to get there, and you're going to have something special about you that people are going to see, and just give it time to shine. But you just got to get out there. And like Ken says, with a little question mark, just hit record, but plan the stuff out. Think about what your goals are and make those improvements. If you're doing the same thing over and over, and you're not making improvements, I don't know why you're here, because at that point it's you're not going to see your goals come to fruition without that. So make sure you're setting those goals and having some feedback from people that care.
Now, without getting too deep into it, John, you're right. There are people who say that. There are people who say that a lot, and there's a difference between somebody who is generally giving out solid advice and as opposed to those who are giving out a tagline. And I appreciate Ken spending the time. You could tell that there's a lot of thought that went into understanding why he's saying just hit record. And a lot of people don't, and that drives us nuts, because if you don't couch that with some reality behind it and what that means, it's just then you're just selling an idea that has no value to me. So,
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
There's a danger in over planning. I mean, let's be completely honest. Odds are your first video is going to suck. If you want to see a good example of that, if you want to see a good example, go look up Bluegrass Bearded on YouTube, sort videos by the oldest, and watch my intro video. That video is straight up trash, but it's still there because I can go back and watch that and see how far I've come, and I still have a lot further to go.
But the credibility in what you do is seeing the chasm of improvement. If seeing how much you've got, look, I can't relate to you. If you're just if all you are is a polished dude, I don't know if I'm going to relate to you as much as if you're talking about new YouTube, if I can see something that you was real. So if I can go back and see that, to me, that all adds to your authority and credibility to being a new content creator. Good for you.
Yep. I'll never take them down because I like seeing the progression.
Me too.
No, I agree.
Exactly.
And it coincides to what Jay Cruz was saying. It's like if you're using that equipment and you're going through those processes and then you're just coming out here and telling what you're going through. I mean, how much more authentic does it get than that? Because now you're making connections with the things that you're doing directly, and you know it like the back of your hand because you're doing it. And then people relate to that and they find you. And that's where I was saying before, it's like, I didn't come in here and talk about my JBL speakers and know all the specs, and know everything.
No.
All I know is I felt like an 18-year-old kid that just got a new set of speakers in his car and was cruising down the shore blasting.
He put on ABBA's greatest hits and did a video review.
I mean, go watch if you watch that video, there's like no information about the speakers. You know, it's just like, I am so happy for the money and how great these studio monitors are. And I was just like amazed by them. And that's
what, John, you that was a video where you came in, they were sitting on the counter, right? And then right. And then you opened them. And what people were relating to though, was your joy of these things being there delivered, and you get to open it. Cause that's the thing though. Like, it doesn't have to always be so about that. It can be about the shared experiences that we have of these things, the joy of getting new tech and then putting them on and going, God, they're everything I wanted them to be.
Exactly.
You know? Like my Roadcaster.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sharing in your I'm sharing in your joy.
Oh, this has been great. So Mrs. Coach said the show is so much fun. Will we see more of these in the future? Possibly. I think I can probably speak for the whole group. This wouldn't be a regular thing because we all have so much going on. Would we do another one at some point? Probably.
Yeah. I think this is cool, man.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. Would love that.
I think there's a lot of benefit here for us and a lot of benefit for the people that are out there, because it definitely rolls both ways. The feedback from people and the questions that may come in, and then for us, like, I think it's great because, like you said earlier, Ken, is that a lot of content creators don't get to bounce things off, and we're real lucky because right here we have 4 of us, and that we regularly talk to each other in different ways and different levels, and we're lucky to have that because not everybody does.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's 3 guys on screen right here that I have a lot of respect for. I value you guys' opinions and your knowledge, and it's just great to get together on screen and bounce things off of each other and answer questions and hang out and drink some good coffee.
Right back at you. And the nice thing is too, it's not like this forced thing. Like a lot of people, I think, try to throw, let's get together. This took a lot of time to really nurture and come together and cultivate. Like, it wasn't like, we should just do it. I think we all kind of went, we all have a lot of similarities and value systems that match up and marry up, and yet differences. And so I'm really pleased. I appreciate you asking me to come on today and join everybody. I had a lot of fun.
What's up, Cashew? Good to see you. So Cashew says, we'd like to hear more about how John was influenced by Dancing Queen and Fernando.
It just was better on his JBLs, and it made him dance as only John can dance to ABBA.
I mean, I could really dance. So
on your toes, on your tiptoes. Show them right now.
show them right now.
Do it. I want to see it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Content is one of those topics that I could talk for hours. I just love it that much.
Oh, I see. Only when we're together at 2 a.m. will you get up and dance on your toes. I see what's happening. Oh, see, he defaults to his little sliders, a distraction.
My sliders can help things go.
I'll put you full screen. We got to dance.
There you go.
This is
I'll do
I
the
literally did a
lawnmower.
stream 2 weeks. I did a
There you
stream,
go.
and I was doing a presentation, and this dude literally rolls back with his feet up on the desk while I'm giving a presentation. I was the most chilled person I've ever seen during a live stream, but it worked out. People loved it.
Yeah, I was there. I wasn't able to interact much because I was cutting chicken at the same time. So chicken.
I'm
and
sorry, that
touching
had
the
to
phone.
totally ruin your appetite, but
Cheese.
Right. Yeah, there may have been some of that too. I don't know. All right. Well, hey, this has been great. I've really enjoyed this. So let's go around the table here. So John, let everybody know where they can find you, what you have coming up, anything you want to say here.
Hey guys, I'm John for Coffee Talk and Tech. I'm doing live streams still, and JA and I do them on his channel, JA Smith, on Tuesdays, and then I'm doing pop-up streams here and there. I like to do some different times to meet new people and have some new experiences. But I'm regularly going to be coming out with more videos in general. In the last month and a half, I have about 3 ones out, and I'm always trying new and innovative things, but it's just not about the tech, where we discuss a lot about your YouTube channel improvements and basic YouTube stuff. So it's Coffee Talk and Tech. Along with the tech, there's a lot of talk about YouTube. Thanks for watching, everyone, and everyone that was here. I had a great time today.
Well, Mike was a beauty.
Bye,
Yeah,
John.
I agree. I appreciate it. Yep. And JA, what about you, sir?
I feel like a deer.
I got to follow that. No, so so as John said, I'm at JA Smith. I thank you, John, for the plug at JA Smith, and we do Tuesday nights. John and I get together and do our little YouTube party. We call them Stream Buds because everybody that comes in is our stream buddy for us, and we enjoy that. My channel is based on the belief that the creativity is curiosity in action. So my videos that be coming up are predicated on things that I'm curious about, and it could be a many different things. So like John, I'm in this mode of video making now, and I'm curious about a lot of things. So, hopefully you'll join me. But in the meantime, come find us on Tuesdays if you want. Meantime, thank you so much for having me today. I really enjoyed hanging out with Jay and Ken, and I guess John. And I got to hang out with him too much. But no, keep on keeping on, and we'll see you guys in the streams. Appreciate it. Oh, John. Gee, mute him.
And my brother here, Jay Cruz, Mr. Healthy
Yes,
Bearded.
yes.
Where can they find you? What you got coming up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm Jay Cruz, Mr. Healthy Bearded. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok. I basically do a lot of beard content. Gonna start doing a lot more like self-care, grooming type stuff as well. I have Tuesday must be the hot spot because I have a show on Tuesdays as well.
Not anymore.
Called the CMU, which is an acronym for the Community Meetup. We have a great time. Sometimes we have a sponsored company, or we do live interviews. Very positive vibes, and I hope you can make it out on Tuesday to check it out. So yeah.
Sweet.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, I appreciate all you guys here hanging out. I'm not sure. Cashew says, "Oh, slider, I forgot my question."
Yeah, see, you got distracted by that slider.
That's it.
He does this. He doesn't want to answer. He's uncomfortable, so he's like, "I'll put the slider up," and then the uncomfortable moment will go away for.
Oh, you want me to answer that serious question?
Hey, Dr. Rob, how you doing?
This for a little
Nice
while.
to see you. This is what happens right here. Yeah, so
Right.
that's his go-to. This is Whoopi. His little tech Whoopi.
And I don't have just a single display for myself. I didn't make that because that's not what it was about to me. But
Lame.
you guys are here hanging out, so I appreciate you joining the conversation. Ken, the content coach. I do have this, though. So my website, kenthecontentcoach.com. Emails
Sexy.
there also. Social media, all that stuff is in every description of every video. So appreciate you guys being here hanging out. This was a great stream. You guys on the screen. Again, like I said, much respect for you guys.
Ditto.
Yeah, this was awesome. This was fun to put together. So thank you guys for
Guys,
popping
can you
in.
just stand still for a picture?
Yeah, sure.
What? Oh, Jesus.
All right, good. Thanks.
All right, cool.
Paparazzi.
All right, everybody. Well, have a great Saturday.
You too.
Whatever you guys are doing this weekend, Valentine's Day is Monday, so me and Mel's our date night. What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? John, Jeff?
Jeff and I, we're gonna probably catch a little bite to eat. Get
we're going to movie, him and I. May hold hands. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm in separate, but yeah.
Chilling with my shorty right here.
Okay, Costello.
Oh man.
I got the roses and the candy last night to get ahead.
Yep,
of the
same here. We're done with it already. That's all been done.
We're doing ours today.
Yeah,
sweet.
Monday's going to be here. I can't deal with Monday, Valentine's Day. That's just.
And check out Super Bowl Sunday. Go Bengals. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go Burrows. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going out tonight. We're going to Red Lobster and going to a movie. I wanted to go to a play, but the place was packed and it's a buffet. I still don't want to mess with stuff like that yet. Right. So we're just going to stick to the movies. Nice. And then Monday we're doing a stream together. So Monday night, Mel and I will be streaming together. That'll be we got some cool stuff planned. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely do this again, guys. Maybe, not regularly, but because our schedules. But we definitely have to do this again. Maybe we'll switch it up on. Oh, I think we're scheduled to do one on Jeff's. I think we talked about it.
Yeah, I think
yeah, that'd be cool.
What now? Hey, I was just thinking, is it wrong if I take my wife to see a rescreening of Fatal Attraction on Monday? Is that a good movie for Valentine's Day?
That or Green Mile.
The minds are going. Trying to remember what the Fatal Attraction movie was. It's not a good movie for Valentine's Day.
I was just sitting here thinking, I don't know your wife, so I don't know. Maybe
you're right. Maybe she's into cook rabbits from a woman who broke into your house and you're having an affair with. I don't know. Maybe she's into that.
I'm open for it. If you.
Okay. We'll screen it together. That'd be fine. Thanks for everybody for stopping by.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for showing up.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Appreciate you guys. We'll all see you on our streams.
Absolutely.
Again. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Chills. Look at John. Hi, John.
He's ready.
He's like,
bye,
Jay. Bye, Jay.
Bye, y'all.
Hey.